What's up, everybody? I'm Run7, and if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to skip ahead if you have already seen these intro clips. This is a little taste of what you may have previously missed. And if you want to catch me live, be sure to look in the links in the description below for my Twitch. You can catch me there streaming Sundays and Thursdays, and sometimes some other pop-up streams as well. Hope you enjoy. The game is about to start. Okay, let's inject something into our brain. That sounds fun. Let's do this. I'm just gonna go right to it. I just wanna know, can we write about our dick? Is it gonna give us that breath? 50 subs to the community? These bombs are never gonna stop falling. Oh my God, there's just constant sound effects blowing up in my headset right now. How do you spell penises? Soma D's nuts, yeah. Penises? Is that how you spell penises? We're gonna hide in the corner and hopefully he won't come into this room. Oh, shit, Jesus. Fuck you guys. Penises, I-S or E-S? E-S? Penises. Can you move a little more to the right? A little more to the right.
He's moving you into a monster.
Yes, I know. We can't see. I'm gonna get his camera after he dies grievously. I don't see anything that looks like a power anything. Oh, shit. Well, there's some power.
Penis eye.
Penis eye?
Penises.
We get that selfie shot.
Oh man, that was a great selfie trying to get. Way to go, Dadpool. Nice try.
If somebody wants to heal me with their penis, that would actually be pretty handy right now. I'm pretty badly hurt.
Sorry, I'll try and move it so you can see past all the meteors falling. Damn it! Oh!
Everyone's dead. Can somebody talk me through this?
Oh my God! What, we got blind people trying to...
You can hear me. Talk me through how to get to the helicopter.
The fuck is going on?
Anyone?
Dude, I'm a big cybernetic robot woman. Dan really wants somebody to touch the penis. I'm on to you, Dan. Romance, hopeless, philosophy, climax. Come on, they're just... They might as well just pick these themselves. Get over there, yeah!
So can I actually get myself off, Giggity, or can I?
Yeah. Dan, I'm pretty sure you can get yourself off. Buddy. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh.
I thought you said something when you first got here.
Maybe I did. I think I had the microphone muted, and maybe it worked this time. I don't know. Let's get that switched around, and I sent the shared chat goodie thing to you.
Oh.
Oops, that was the wrong button. Sorry there, chat.
There it is. All right, perfect. Good to see you. Now I keep forgetting that this is even a thing, but I just noticed again, it's reminding me that I've joined the like combo beta thing on Twitch. Have you heard about that at all?
No. Combo beta thing? No.
Know anything about it really. Like I was, even after reading up what they sent me, I'm still like, I don't really understand what's happening here. Essentially, people can give bits, and the more bits they give, the more combos happen. And the more combos happen, it's like a hype train, but for bits.
I heard about that. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I heard something about that. It's a hype train with bits is kind of what it is.
Yeah,
but they call it combos.
I wish I knew more about it. Like, it's like, does something show up on my screen? Like, can my audience earn something? Like, they're like, hype it up. I'm like, I don't know what it is yet. Like,
right.
What is it you want me to do?
Hey, chat, throw hundreds of dollars at us in bits, and let's see how this works.
Yeah, we'll see what. Don't do it now. Don't do it now. Already. Wait till we're like. Well, I guess you can throw it at Brian. He's actually, you're live on your own channel, right? So
I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. You're not live. You're live.
Happen on restream. Wait till we're off restream, and then throw all of your money at me.
Yeah.
But. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I stayed quite busy today, which is great because I'm broke as shit. So I'm a broke bitch these days, but I got to work today, and I got so much work. I got work for tomorrow too, so I'm happy. How you doing?
Well, that's all right. I'm doing phenomenal. It's a very busy week. We had Godforge Alpha 3 come out yesterday, which there's actual prizes for, so I kind of want to try that. But
they're splitting Alpha up into 3 groups now, like. It used to be alpha and beta. That was it. You had a soft launch, global launch. That was it.
There are 3 alphas, and then after this, we're going into beta. I don't know what they're doing with beta.
Beta tier X12.
Hopefully, the actual game comes out like Christmas-ish.
I pitch Star Citizen to people. It's cool. Just I can't knock it. That's 13 years of alpha.
Yeah. Oh my god, amazing. Bits combo icon is at the bottom under the viewing screen. It's the red heart icon, which is next to the gift subs button. Combo timer is very short, though. It's not as long as a hype train. I'll throw hundreds of rubies in bits. Oh, thanks, Hotep. I honestly, I don't think it's going to do fuck all right now.
Yeah, probably not.
Appreciate your willing spirit.
Hold on,
Also,
Chad. I
love
gotta
wonderful
fix
Dinos
something here.
more than I do.
Chat's not gonna see anything for a second because I gotta turn HUD effects on and make sure that it's not screwed up and all my audio is right. I forgot to do those super important things while I was.
You go live and then remember you haven't done
Well-
what you need to do to go live.
Well, I did do my startup, right? And I normally do all that stuff during the startup thing, but I ended up going live like 2 minutes early. I probably would have caught that and done it behind the scenes while I was doing the intro.
I used to have, because like there was a long time where I'd go live and then be like, oh yeah, I need to have a microphone that works, and like nonsense, just like forgetting everything.
Right.
So I actually had like a sticky note with like, do this, do this, do this, do this. And over time, I've kind of gotten rid of that. It doesn't really.
Yeah, I had the checklist.
Like-
I had the checklist. I mean, honestly, like, there's ways you can set your entire studio up to be a one-button press. Turns on all the lights you want, all the cameras, everything boots up, the windows go where they're supposed to go. But I mean, it takes like a week to set that whole gizmo up, and I already have the wrong lighting set up for it.
I have my key lights, I guess you call them. Like
Yeah.
the ones that are shining the white light on me are both wireless, and I have them on my Stream Deck, but it doesn't turn them on. It'll only turn them off and like fade them.
Fade them and
like that.
stuff,
So I can,
yeah.
like, change the brightness and I can turn them off, but they won't turn on for some reason. Like I have to actually go into the opening program to like wake them up.
That's lame.
And then the red lights over here are also Wi-Fi for that reason.
Hmm.
But if I turn them on to my computer, they try and connect to Lumia Stream, which is what I use for the blue lights behind me that like do crazy colors when stuff happens. And they're so slow. It'll be like 8 minutes later. They'll be like, "Oh, we're doing something." Hey, a follower. I'm like, "What the fuck
Yeah.
is going on right now?" Like,
I just walk around my studio hitting switches and buttons to get all my lights turned on. I'm like, screw all that stuff.
Honestly, it's so much easier to not turn some things on. You know what I mean? Like just have them do manually. It's just like this is so much better.
Yeah.
Would it be nice to just hit a button and go live? Sure.
It's
Am I
like
patient enough for that? No.
Like, this is a wireless headset, but I plug it in because I can count on probably 2 hands the amount of times that it is like died or disconnected during a live stream. And I'm like, forget this. I'm just going to plug it in because it always works when it's plugged in. And then I accidentally have it switched to like monitor output or something, and then it doesn't work.
So these headphones, they're the same ones Will
Yeah.
has. I absolutely love them. They've got like the longest, like I've charged them in the year that I've had them maybe 3 times.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
they just last forever.
You guys will have to shoot me over a link to those. I might, because mine are getting so worn out on the inside. They're like, the earpieces, there's no, it's just the foam. Like the protectant's all gone. You can see it all chewed away there. And it's just worn out. So they're not the best, but they work.
No, that's
So
And sometimes,
So-
honestly, all you need is something that just works the first time. The one issue is you can't plug, like, because they're USB, you can't plug them into, like, your microphone or anything. So if you actually want to check exactly what you sound like, you have to have other headphones for that.
oh, I
Other
see.
than that, I love them.
I see. I see.
And yes, they can absolutely shut you, like, make me wish I had an affiliate link all of a sudden. No.
What's up,
But yeah,
Sifu Shan,
no-
Faust, Wonderful D, B Ridge? How's it going?
So not only is Godforge coming out, but also Silk Song dropped today, which is the sequel to Hollow Knight. And I know you're not a big side-scroller fan, but this is one of the biggest launches of the year. Like, the game is just absolutely massive. Crashed Steam for a little while today. Crashed the eShop, I think, on Nintendo
Yeah.
Switch. Like, just amazing. So,
No, it looks like a
I mean,
solid
it fits it all,
platformer.
so it's good.
I mean, I used to love Super Metroid, Metroid Prime, all the different Metroid platformers, even the Metroid 3D on the GameCube and stuff. I like those too. But other than the Metroid ones, I tend to not enjoy the platformers. How about you, Will? Do you like playing platformers?
I mean, growing up, I played a lot of platformers. I enjoyed, but I just don't have time to play a lot of games, so it's not first on my to-go list.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's definitely one that I'm looking forward to, and I will probably be playing it after our rating, but I will 100% be playing it for a good chunk of tomorrow. and Saturday, and maybe Sunday. I don't know.
Until my wife kicks me off my PC.
Pretty much.
Will just reminded me that I had a background for this.
Is that an actual legit background? Is that an AI one you made with like puzzles and guns? Because like that's very specific.
Yeah. This is AI. I'm all about the AI. I've just given my soul over to Chat GPT and pretty much any other AI that wants it. It's up for sale.
Fair enough.
So
playing it for hours. Good man. He's got good taste. How's your week been, Will? How have you been doing?
Good, strong boy. First day of primary or kindergarten was today, so it was pretty exciting
Very
all
nice.
week leading up to it, and he had a good day, so everybody's happy.
isn't that just nerve-wracking as a parent, that first day walking them into the school and you can see they're so nervous and everything? Oh, it drives me nuts.
Oh, Strong Boy was like stoked. He's excited. Like a couple days ago, he's like, I had a dream. It was so good. I was like, well, yeah, what's your dream about? He's like, I dreamed that my teachers were hilarious and I made a friend. Awesome, buddy. Awesome.
The purest of dreams.
That's great.
So he did say he made a friend today. No word on if the teacher's hilarious or not, though. So
Okay. Very
but
nice.
yeah, no, he was just running. He was running on his way to school today. He was.
Wow,
super
that's
excited.
great. I'm glad he had a good day.
Brian, your kids have been in school since August, right?
Yeah, I've got in 4th grade and 6th grade. They're 9 and 11. And they started in August, and we no longer have school on Fridays, so they're going to be home tomorrow. For the rest of the year, no more school on Fridays. 4-day weeks. It's just the first month they did 5 days to make enough days. So that's why they start a little earlier in the year now, and then they just don't do
Get the
Fridays.
days in.
And they have this new rule that there is no homework for any grade level. There's no homework except stuff that you don't finish in class.
Okay. Interesting. Until high school? Until college?
I think all the way through high school is what it sounds like to me. I don't know, man. It's the public education system in America. I could probably just like sit them down on like a bus stop and just tell them to watch people, and they'd probably learn more. But
Have you seen like way back when Simpsons, where Bart goes into a remedial class and he's just like, wait, so we're behind everybody and we're gonna go slower than they are?
yeah, I'm not a big fan of public education system. I actually do want to go to homeschooled for my kids, but it's just not in the cards right now.
Yeah, financing that is tough to do. So when do they go to school until? Because our kids go to school until like the end of June, and they've got July, August off, and then they start school in September.
Let's see. They get winter break, which is 2 weeks over Christmas, and then there's a spring break, which is 1 week, and then the summer vacation starts. I don't remember. That's too far away for me to worry about the end of school. I focus on what's happening this week. And honest to God, I have Chat GPT usually make up my schedule for the week.
Oh my.
I'm like, hey, what's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Friday? And it just gives me a menu, and I'm like, okay, give me a grocery list. And I go grocery shopping, and I'm like, hey, I got some stuff to do. Could you organize it for me? And then it just tells me what to do.
So we're never watching the Terminator franchise on our ratings.
I'm all for it. I'm like, screw it. Let the robots take over. They're doing pretty good for me right now.
I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords.
That's right. I'm shooting for middle management. You guys can be in those slave camps.
Yeah. No.
Wild.
All right. Did we want to do something before jumping in, or just jump right into this thing? We've only got about 5 more minutes before 9 o'clock.
I'm ready to jump into this thing, but I will warn you, I'm probably going to give a little bit of a disclaimer for my perspective on this film, because I found this film highly offensive.
That's fine.
So I might just let people know that my personal perspective of this film is going to be dampened somewhat, and I would hope that other like parents to be wouldn't go into this franchise and get the wrong impression about certain things.
Can I poke and pry at that a little bit?
Oh, sure, we can talk about it right now.
Maybe we should have done this off air, but at least it wasn't part of the actual
I don't.
episode.
I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I just don't like the portrayal of kids with autism or Asperger's, the way that they showcase this and how Ben Affleck grew up and everything. I think it is absolutely an atrocious representation of special needs people. So,
do you think it was an atrocious representation of special needs, or do you think it was horrendous parenting?
Horrendous parenting, and we'll talk more about this as we go. But
I don't want a Jurassic Park situation. I don't want to say something off the cuff and offend or.
Oh, you're not going to offend me or anything. I just want to put it out there because I have people in my family with special needs, and
I also have people in my family with special needs, and I'm going the opposite direction as you. Maybe not like wholeheartedly, but.
Well, let's just put it this way: you can't beat the Asperger's out of a kids with special needs. You just can't. I'm sorry. You end up with a broken, non-functioning human being. You don't end up with a super accountant with, line of sight down a mile down range. Like this doesn't happen that way. And it bothers me because I think that I know for a fact there are parents out there of kids with special needs, and they think they can put them in a room with flashing lights and loud music, and it's going to solve their problems. And that's just child abuse at this point. So,
yeah. There's definitely issues within the story, and I mean, we can save it for the recording.
I don't think it's going to be an issue. I'm not going to get all bent out of shape or anything or start throwing chairs or be offended at your guys' perspective of the movie. It's just that I'm letting you know my perspective is probably going to come with a little bit of a warning up front. So
that's legit. That's legit.
Because this is the second time I've watched this film.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen it.
I don't. This is definitely not a Jurassic Park for me, where I'm going to be like, oh my god, I'm defending it so hard. But like, I'm nervous. I'm going to be put in that situation already, where it's like, well, I'm going to be I'm significantly higher. Than
I want to try. I'm going to try and focus my perspective on this film as the film, how it's made and how it's produced and all this and whatnot, and try and keep it there. I just know. Like the fun factor for this film is completely lost for me. I can't have fun watching this film when it angers me so much. So it's going to affect the rating. But the other aspects of how I grade this film can be focused purely on cinema.
Yeah. I was looking into it a little bit before we got started, but I didn't do as much research as I should have. Anyways, we can get into it when we get into it. I'm not trying to offend you or anybody watching this. My level of knowledge of autism is low. I do have family members who are, again, I don't even know the proper term, affected, I guess.
On the spectrum?
On the spectrum.
Is the current...
but
in theory, we're all on the spectrum.
Right.
Like, none of us have gone through schooling for this.
Right.
No.
Right? Like, it is... And, like, well, whatever. I'll save some of this because we can always just put it in the actual episode, and if it goes weird, I can always edit it and post.
Yeah, I won't talk about it in the video, but I do have family members. I have a family member with Angelman syndrome, which is an extreme form of autism. He's completely non-functioning, has to use a special walker to get around. Probably will never be able to live a solo life.
Independently, right?
Yeah, independent. And I have some other members of my family too that are higher functioning levels of autism, but legitimately diagnosed with autism and do need special needs to help develop their education and such.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And that's the thing, which is great, actually, that you're here for that, because I don't have that knowledge. So what I did research for was like what the autism community thought about this film and its portrayal and things like that, and that's the only thing I can come from it.
Oh, I'm dying to know. I didn't even think to do any research for this. I was just trying not to just fume.
I'm not in that world as much as you are, and obviously I'm not diagnosed on the spectrum, so it's very out of my realm, but I'm super interested to hear your standpoint, and was interested in looking that up a little bit. Not as much as I'd like to, of course.
That's exactly what
There's
I'm at. I
never
also
enough.
was
There's
looking
never
that up.
enough, right?
Yeah, I'm not like interested in making this all about autism or anything, but it's going to be a factor. You know, I do want to focus on this as a movie.
Yeah, it would be negligent of us not to at least bring it up and talk about it a little bit, right?
Yeah,
it's
For
kinda,
sure. I think to some extent, I've not seen 2. I've never seen 2.
I haven't seen 2 yet either.
I went down a little bit of a Reddit rabbit hole as I was doing research about this movie, and it sounds like anything you have an issue with in this one's probably going to get worse in the next one. So
I figured. Yeah, I figured.
All right. Are you? So,
Hey, if you give cocaine to a kid with autism, he gets laser beams for eyes. You know, like, it's the worst.
Anybody, let's be honest. It's only in their own head, but still.
Yeah.
So, Brian, do you want me to cut to you relatively early so you can do that, or are you just going to work it?
No, just whenever I start going off on my rant, I'll just explain to people what I just explained to you guys. Basically, I'll try and keep it a little shorter than that.
No worries. So I'm going to start off as per normal.
Yeah.
And we'll wing it as we always.
Yeah,
do.
we'll wing it. See how it goes.
Good luck. All right.
my write-up's also terrible. So here we go.
Shocking.
The Accountant 2016. Whether you're a struggling farmer or a big criminal organization, Christian Wolf is the go-to accountant to keep the taxman at bay. But there is more to this genius number cruncher than meets the eye. He is a man without fear, and if you don't let Christian balance the books, the taxman will be the least of your worries. Because he's a superhero.
We get it. Hello, everybody. All right.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing.
I put a Daredevil line in there, you know, just he was Daredevil. Come on, you get it.
I must have missed it. My bad.
A man without fear? Come on.
Oh, there it was. Okay, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Nothing like explaining the joke. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Our Rating, the show where I get to a couple of my friends. We discuss a movie franchise, break it down by movie, give it an overall score, and throw it up on the board. Today, I'm joined, as always, by my friends Brian and Will. Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How about you, Will?
Yeah, Dan, how are you? You were always asking how we're doing. How are you, buddy?
That's the job of the host. I get to just pass the questions off. I don't have to answer them myself. No, I'm doing really, really well. This has been a solid week for me. Silk Song just came out. I'm super stoked about that one. I get to get together with my friends and talk about movies. I got the weekend off, a 3-day weekend, so I got nothing to complain about. So I am legitimately doing well. How about you, Will?
I'm doing okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
With the monosyllabic answer, good.
2016's The Accountant. This is my second time watching this one. I saw it in theaters with my wife. I remember enjoying it, but could not have told you a thing about the plot. So it was a good one to rewatch. I'm happy that I did for the show. I know The Accountant 2 just came out. I haven't seen that one yet. What about you, Will? How do you come to this franchise?
I don't care for Ben Affleck, so this is the first time viewing for me. I don't know. I think Ben is a better director than actor, and after this movie, I still stand by that point.
That's fair. I can't really argue with that, but I actually do like Ben Affleck quite a bit. So that's also another bonus in this category for me. What about you, Brian?
Well, you should have worn a blue shirt, so it could be red versus blue over here. I'm with Will on this. Ben's a better director than an actor. And this is my second time seeing the film. I really didn't want to watch it a second time. I was very frustrated with it the first time. Long story short, I have people with special needs in my family, and I do not like the portrayal of children with autism and how they're raised to be Ben Affleck in this film. I think it was really atrocious and horrible, their angle on it. I'm trying to set that aside and look at this film from a cinematographer. I'm trying to look at it as a movie, right? And put my feelings about the subject matter on the side. But it is definitely going to dampen my score because I was very frustrated watching this film. Even the second time thinking like this, I still couldn't get past it. To put it short, you can't beat the Asperger's out of a kid with special needs, so please don't try. I really didn't like what they did in this film. So it's going to be troublesome for me. I'm going to try and get over it and just focus on this as a film. But no, second time around wasn't any better than the first for me.
Fair enough. Can't wait to watch the second one with you guys because I've heard pretty much all the problems you're gonna have are gonna get worse in the next one. So, yeah.
There's positives in this film. There are definitely positives in this film.
Oh, yeah.
To start us off with some of the positives, I thought Anna Kendrick did an amazing job. I thought she was.
Let's just give it up for all the actors in this movie. For the most part, like it's got a pretty stellar cast, and I would say the acting and the character work was better than most of the movie.
Yeah. John Lithgow, J.K. Simmons had some great but smaller roles in this. I mean, J.K. Simmons is one of my favorite actors in general. I did have a little trouble grasping his character at first. I thought he was going to be a bad guy. And then he turned out to have like a whole backstory to him, and it completely changed his character midway through. The transition there was a little awkward for me, but he still nailed all his lines and everything.
He was a great actor, and the character was fine, but it was kind of superfluous. It was unnecessary, I felt.
Right,
like, his whole arc was kind of unnecessary. The end 10-minute monologue was a lot for no reason, and we already were everybody's on the same page at that point anyway, I think. So it just seemed like out of place, a little out of joint there.
And honestly, him going after Agent Medina in the beginning, and he's like, well, you're going to find out who this accountant is, or I'm going to put you in jail for all this stuff you did in your past. And it was like, why are you such a jerk? And then later he turns out to be like a pretty darn good guy, trying his best, I guess.
Well, the other problem is he knows who this guy is. He's working with the accountant.
Yeah. Yeah,
what's like feeding him bad guys to put away? Like, it doesn't make any real logical sense why he was like, this is how I'm going to find my replacement because I'm retiring soon.
So it just occurred to me, and Dan, tell me if you agree with this.
Sorry, I think the point is he's not good at his job. Like, he straight up says he's been failing at his job the entire time. So the fact that he wasn't good at talking to her kind of worked in the sense of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I need somebody else to be taking over this because I do feel like I'm doing good, or good is happening because of me, almost despite me. And I just need to find somebody else to replace me, and I don't really have that much time to do it in.
I kind of feel like
thought that it was kind of like evil for the sake of evil at the beginning, and then turns out he's not evil, just kind of incompetent. I don't know. I didn't love his character, and there was like a split second where I wondered if he was going to be Ben Affleck's dad for a minute, and I was like, but when he's like, I want to find him so badly, I'm like, did he lose touch with his son, and this is what's going on? Like, I love J.K. Simmons a lot. I love this cast a lot. Like every couple of minutes, that guy's in this. Jeffrey Tambor's in this. John Lithgow's in this. Like, there's so many good actors. And yes, I do put Ben Affleck in that list. Suck it. I love him.
I kind of wondered if maybe J.K. Simmons was the whole purpose of him making her go after the accountant was so that she could start to understand who this guy was, because he was basically going to pass the torch to her and let her take over. But he wanted her to like become acquainted with the subject material on her own, maybe? That just occurred to me right now. I don't know why he had her hunting him down, just so that they could be in the room when his feet are up on the furniture and the phone rings, and they're like, give her a call. And she kind of takes over at that point. And that was kind of it. It didn't really make much sense there.
Yeah. That was probably the weakest scene in the movie, is when like he sits down and he's just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you my entire life story through flashbacks. And it just kept going. Like the first one, I was like, oh, okay, he's the guy at the beginning of the movie. Cool. Yeah. Didn't know what was going on there. It explains how he met Ben Affleck. Cool. And then this happens. And then this happens. And you're like, oh, they're just info dumping everything they couldn't figure out how to put into the actual movie logically.
Yeah.
Like when he starts talking with the funeral, I'm like, how do you know that he went to the funeral with his dad? Like, okay. Like it seemed like a stretch, and it seemed unnecessary, but like it was the only time in the movie where I was like, this is kind of dragging for me, at least.
I didn't like a lot of the pacing of the film, to tell you the truth. I thought the pacing on this was way off. Bursts of intense action that maybe didn't even make sense a lot of the times. You had people switching sides, especially toward the end when his brother figures out who's in the room, and they're just immediately switching sides and shooting the other people, and it was a little sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't shoot my brother. There's no amount of money you could give me to shoot my brother.
Right, but how they transition to, hey, get away from my brother, and just shoots the guy that he's been, hired to go kill his brother. Like, I don't know. It just seemed.
I don't know, are they friends though, or is he just some random guy with a shotgun?
He's a random guy. It was just to showcase that he was switching teams. I just felt that the transitions were kind of sloppy. His brother clearly had his brother was curious that it was him like the whole time. Like you could just tell they were like hinting at that. Like, I'm on to you, but I don't have proof yet. And then finally at the end, he sees his brother in the camera and he's got the proof he needs, and he gets up and then just immediately switches teams. And I just felt it was just kind of sloppy storytelling in that aspect also.
Fair. I completely forgot John Barenthal was even in this movie. Like I remember him on the posters of the second one, so I was expecting him there. But here's the thing with this movie. I saw it in the theaters and I remember enjoying it. And then I forgot everything about it almost instantly. And I watched this on Sunday and I remember enjoying it. And I'm already starting to forget parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those, like, it's fun while you watch it, but there's nothing about this that, like, sticks with you or, like, oh my God, I'm going to remember that forever. Like, I could probably watch this movie for the first time in 3 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's not saying I didn't have a good time while I was watching it.
Yeah, it does come across to me. It's weird. It's a weird mix. It's like the story itself is like Rain Man meets Dexter meets Daredevil. It's really a weird, almost comic book superhero movie in its core because it's so unbelievable.
Yeah. But
tries to be very serious and grounded in its execution. But I found it was maybe the writing that kind of failed it the most. It was almost trying to be too clever. And the writing couldn't hold up to that cleverness. The way they were going back and forth, nonlinear storytelling, and three, like, whoa, this is this person and this is that person at the end. Like, it just couldn't execute. And I felt that it was mostly a writing issue because, like, and all the actors kind of brought it up a mark where the writing kind of dropped it down. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like the storytelling just wasn't solid throughout, and that gave some of the pacing issues maybe, and some weird long monologues at the end trying to catch the audience up for some unknown reason. It just felt awkward.
It feels a little bit like, and we haven't talked about this before, so I don't know what your stance is on this movie. It feels kind of like if you took John Wick and like removed key aspects of it. You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't quite have the emotional weight that John Wick had or the coolness that John Wick had, but it still had, like, he's still professional, he's still double tapping, he's still incredible with guns and hand-to-hand combat. Like, he's almost everything that John Wick is, but like just doesn't have the same impact level.
Yeah, in combat, he acted like John Wick. The choreography wasn't as amazing, nor were the scenes as cool, or the lights and all that stuff. It wasn't John Wick for sure. It was maybe 30% of John Wick, but when he's in combat, that was kind of who he was. That cool, calm, pulling off the perfect shot and everything. But he also had the other superpower of math and being able to go through all those numbers and do the work of 5 men and 15 men and do all this stuff in one night and the crazy, autistic superpowers that they gave him. And you had that, which was completely unlike a lot of stuff, unless you go back to like Rain Man or something. That was a good call. I kind of said this was Rain Man meets John Wick, and then minus the talent and writing. But yeah, it was. There's everything in this movie has been done better by somebody else in some other film. Unfortunately, altogether, it was entertaining, but I've seen better in every aspect. And then the overall, the biggest problem I had from this was the transition from the kids to the adults. Seeing Ben Affleck and the severity of they allude to him having Asperger's. They say the word Asperger's. They don't actually say he has Asperger's. They allude to it though. Yeah. Basically saying they later say he has high functioning autism. As a child, he definitely did not have high functioning autism. He was severely autistic. And then to transition into who he was as an adult, he might as well have been playing the Terminator. He was just a person without emotion, and it wasn't very good acting at all in my opinion as the character that he portrayed as an adult. So the transition from him as a kid to him as an adult was just completely disconnected.
Now, again, I watched this 4 days ago, so I'm already starting to lose pieces of it because that's how this movie is. What part of him as a child makes you think that he was low functioning as opposed to high functioning? Because like all we really see of him is trying to work on the puzzle, and he gets really upset because he can't finish his task. Like he likes to finish things that he started.
The
But
breakouts when his mother's leaving, he's clearly having an emotional reaction to that, but doesn't know how to express himself, and he's just absolutely losing it. Kids with autism don't know how to express their emotions and feelings. They don't understand them, and they don't know how to express them. He was completely coming unglued as much as a person could. And almost every sequence when you see him as a kid, except for the sequences when his father is paying somebody to beat him up, every other time he's coming apart. He's showcasing how severe his situation is. And then you have the one scene when he's fighting Taekwondo or Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not really sure what that was, but he's getting the crap beat out of him, and he's totally calm and collected all of a sudden. And that doesn't make any sense. It does not work like that. You don't put a kid with those kinds of problems into a room with flashing lights and loud music, and let them beat themselves with sticks. They're not going to end up right. It does not function like that. That was a real ugly showcasing of what they were supposed to do. And I think they could have gone a different way if they had a father who wanted to basically abuse his kid. They could have gone a different way with the story, but they wouldn't have ended up in the same place. They wanted to have a superhero. Mm-hmm. And they just took this unfortunate situation that happens to a lot of people in this world, and they formed it the way that they wanted to get the result that they wanted to. And it's just completely, it upset me, because this is a film that could have showcased children with autism and had him more of a high-functioning autistic child and developed him into the accountant through legitimate means and ways, maybe, I don't know. And then they could have actually had some real emotional connection to some of the younger characters in the earlier parts of the story and really tugged on some heartstrings. They didn't. They just wanted to beat the crap out of a kid with Asperger's and get an action film. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I did some research because I was curious. I am not super familiar with On the Spectrum, aside from watching Love is on the Spectrum, which I love that show. It's so good. But I was trying to look up reviews and people's thoughts who were on the spectrum and what they thought of the character work in this movie, the treatment of autism in this picture. And it's kind of split. It feels almost 50-50. Some people are like, any representation of autism is good representation, so they're stoked that it's on there, and showing some of the qualities that autistic people have. Then there's other people who are fully against it, saying, hey, if you want to represent autistic people, it should have been an autistic person in the role, not Ben Affleck. And those are like the harsh sides of each of the coin there. But all in all, a lot of what I read was autism affects everybody differently. There is no one person you can model autism on. And that's why it's so difficult to represent autism on the screen, because everybody functions differently. Everybody reacts differently. There are some common things that they have trouble with, but everybody is affected differently with autism. That's why there's high, medium, low levels. There's Asperger's and what have you. And so it's a very difficult subject to tackle. And I also read that the director and Ben and the whole film crew, they did research. The writer researched a lot about autism. They met with many autistic people and groups, experts, things like that, to work on the film, to get things to use, so Ben could, mimic traits, things like that, the blowing on the fingers, that kind of stuff. So it's a very interesting, I don't even know what to say. It's a very interesting thing that I don't feel like I have a real place on like, oh, they did great or they didn't do great in representing autistic people. But to Run's point, they only showed, hey, you can put them in an institution, which leads to super voice that knows everything in the movie, or you can get your child beat out of and hone their skills and utilize their savantness with their autism to make a superhero. And having only those two options in the film feels bad. It feels wrong to me. And so that's kind of where I felt in it. Not that I didn't like the representation of autism or how it, how they showed this person's autism on screen, like Ben's character, but more that just the way they handled making the autistic people into super beings, really, it just felt weird to me. And they could have handled that better.
I agree with that sentiment exactly. And Will, in 5 minutes, you did a better job of explaining the situation with people on the spectrum than this movie did in 2 hours. So
Well, it's hard. The other problem, though, is like this movie, yes, it highlights autism and it utilizes it for the betterment of this character's performance in various tasks.
mm-hmm.
But it's not about autism.
It's not about autism. No, this is an action movie.
It's just an action popcorn flick.
Yeah.
So if you're going in for an action popcorn flick, I think most people are going to come out thinking, yeah, it was okay. It was pretty fun. But I think it does hit hard for other people who experience autism on a daily or, have that in their lives. And it, they live in a world that's different than this fantasy world, obviously, right?
And honestly, if Ben Affleck would have done a better job, I thought he did a terrible job portraying somebody with autism because he had like 3 things that he blew on his fingers, he wouldn't make eye contact, and of course he was obsessed with completing things. That was really kind of it. Otherwise, he just didn't show any...
A math savant.
A math savant, yeah. And he didn't show any emotion. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. There was some elements though that I did like when he's like they're doing the classic rom-com kind of setup with Anna Kendricks, and he pulls back, thinking no, I'm a freak. She's gonna think I'm a freak, and so he like closes that door on her. I feel like that is kind of true to life. Like I
sure.
Many autistic people feel like they wouldn't be able to contribute to a relationship like that, or we're afraid to go that.
I mean, that's standard imposter syndrome for anybody, really. You see that, you do see that in autistic people, though. They don't think that they're going to succeed, so they don't even try, and that's something that's unfortunate.
So I feel like there was elements like that too.
Right.
Exactly. And that beat it right into them.
So I mean, I guess this could showcase to autistic people that you can do anything, right? It's just, I just don't like how they connect the youth version of the character of Christian Wolf to the adult character Christian Wolf. I don't like Ben Affleck's portrayal, and I don't like this. I don't like how they do all the stuff when the kids are younger and they're talking to the therapist, and the therapist is like, hey, here's an idea. And I'm like, yeah, he's onto a great start. And then the dad's like, nope, we're not doing that. I'm like, oh God, here it goes.
Okay, you got to remember though, this movie it took place in 2016, so already we're a decade removed. So we already know more about Asperger's and autism than we did when this movie was made.
Right.
But also, they're portraying something that happened in the 70s,
like 80s.
Yeah, that's true.
How little did we know about autism in the 70s? And a military dad, probably straight out of Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like, it makes perfect sense to me that he would be like, F your hippie bullshit. We're not doing this.
I got the feeling
he married that woman. Like, that seems like a weird mix, but stranger things have happened. If I can for a second, the scenes we see of him as a child, we see him freaking out because he doesn't get to finish the task because he is upset with
the missing puzzle
losing
piece.
the puzzle piece. We see him be able to calm himself once he is able to do the task. We see him finish it. That gets brought back a little bit in one scene as an adult, but not really. I thought there'd be like he was hired for a job and he can't stop himself from finishing the job because that is completing the task, which never really got brought up. That kind of got left behind. But the scene where his mother's leaving and he can't control his emotions, take autism out of that spectrum. I know shit. I was gonna say, nope. I know kids who don't have autism who wouldn't be able to control their emotions in a situation like that.
Yeah.
So like,
well, you even had his brother flipping his mom off out the window. You know, that's not grounded. You know, that's not well balanced either.
Because his character has autism, doesn't mean everything this character does is because of autism.
Right. Because
you see at the end, he is a badass killing machine, and people are like, oh, well, you can't just do that because of autism. His brother is also a badass killing machine.
Yes.
And he does not have autism.
Yes.
Not as badass, though. Not as badass. Not as badass.
We don't really know. We don't get to see him all that much, right? Like the scenes we do see him in, he's pretty badass.
Oh, I agree. I actually quite liked John's portrayal in that. What's his last name? Berthenol. I mean, it's Punisher-esque, obviously, or Shane-esque from Walking Dead. But you know, he's good at what he does. He's good at what he does, and his quick talking, smart talking is really fun. Like, there's a lot of elements on his character that I really like. But at no point did I ever feel like Christian or Ben Affleck's character was ever in trouble once, because he was a pro sniper, he was a pro martial artist, he was a pro everything, and so zero time did I feel any stakes in any of the action scenes because of that, and I felt that was a missed opportunity. Even
when he got shot, it didn't seem to slow him down much. He was always so calm in every scene, and that was to the detriment of the scene. So it wasn't as scary or exciting. You know, he ended up throwing his brother on the ground and pointing the gun in his face, clearly able to overcome his brother, even with a gunshot wound. However, it was still fun. Like, if you can set aside the problems I have with it, it was still a fun, entertaining action sequences that were there. Like I said earlier, it was just unfortunate that I've seen these things done better in other movies, so it didn't add too much. It was just something to pass the time.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I would agree with you. As much as I love this cast, and I thought the movie was competently done, if not well done, you're not wrong. Like, if you're looking for an action movie, there are better action movies. If I'm looking for a weird romance, there's better romance movies. Like, it does nothing wrong. It just doesn't do anything well enough to put its head and shoulders above the crowd. It's just kind of good.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I got a question then for you guys, because that's a lot of things I questioned, and a lot of things, like, people again, like, watching these other reviews of just trying to get more info of, like, stuff I don't know about. But I would also often hear of, like, the twists in the movie. Did you guys see the twists coming in this movie?
What twist? Was there supposed to be
it's his brother. It's his brother that.
I just felt I knew that from the beginning. I was waiting for them to figure it out. Like,
that's what I felt like a lot of this movie. And the voice on the phone, I knew was the little girl that gave him the puzzle piece. I knew that, like, as soon as the voice happened. But they have it as reveals at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
the extra special dialogue at the very end of the movie, when the father of the new attending kid at the school is walking with the headmaster, who's the brother or the brother of the girl who's on the phone. Or is he the father of the girl who's on the phone? I couldn't remember. Anyway, they walk out and the guy's like, he's like, oh, like, that must have been a special donation because you could backdoor the Pentagon with the rig like that. And then the guy replies, oh, that's right. I forgot you were in software programming. And I'm like, this is such unnecessary dialogue. This is so dumb. Come on. It was just way too much.
Yeah. As to why she has this stellar computer, which is, like, so dated now.
Which he already said, we have some special beneficiaries, you know, like that, you know it. Come on, we're not that dumb.
Yeah, it's super funny, though. Super funny.
Which is incredible when you got to think, like, Ben Affleck probably met her once, right? Like, it's not like her dad took him back to that place ever again. So like, he made enough of an emotional connection with that puzzle piece that it stuck with him for life. And it's just like,
find someone you can trust. Was that his dad's advice?
Yeah, find one person you can trust. Just one, though.
That was her.
Yep, that was her.
Yeah. And I thought, so those were, like, the twists in the movie, and everybody, like, was like, oh, these twists. And I was just like, I didn't feel like they were, like, weren't like Sixth Sense twists that were like, oh, damn, like
Sixth Sense twists.
And
I didn't see the first time I watched it, I didn't see the little girl from the beginning making another cameo. That one was kind of like, oh, okay. I couldn't tell you the first viewing if I remember. I didn't remember John Barenthal was even in the movie, or Bernthal. But this time around, I saw him and I was like, I forgot he was in this entirely. So I was more taken aback by the fact that he was in it. And
Right.
then when I was thinking about him, like, it's got to be his brother. Like, there's no way he's the bad guy in this, doesn't die, and comes to the sequel without him being someone important.
Yeah,
right?
for
So
sure.
it's
Yeah,
like,
he's in
there's
the
no
sequel.
chance.
Right, exactly.
He's on the poster. Like, he's as big as Ben Affleck is on the poster in the next one. So, like,
yeah. So I
he's
guess
definitely sticking around.
it's reasons like that I just found like they overwrit this, or maybe the writing didn't stand up to what they were trying to execute. It just seems like there was some odd choices in there to try and get all of these things jammed into this story.
Yeah, they did cram a lot in. You had a lot of showcasing weapons, but not really going into it. Showcasing these paintings, but never really going anywhere with that either, right? It was just another form of payment for him. There were just tons and tons of little features that they could have elaborated on, or they just didn't need to put them in the first place, and neither happened, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't know if I 100% agree with that, because I don't want them to go, like, I don't want it to turn into a 20-minute art section part of the movie. Like, the fact that they both appreciate art is kind of enough for me. And then, like, the gesture of him giving her this, like, I don't know, $10 million painting.
But that seemed like that's all that was written in for, was so that he could give her this painting at the end, showcased in the dogs playing cards.
Do you want 10 minutes of them going to a museum and talking about art?
No, but they could have left it out altogether. They could have left it out altogether and left more room for explaining other things.
You would have preferred if he went back to his mobile home and there was literally nothing in it. It's just a complete empty space.
No, money and guns. We just leave the art out. Like pick and choose,
Like,
you know?
Like,
don't have
so
everything.
Hobbies.
Huh?
Hobbies for this guy.
I thought his hobby was sighting in his gun at the farm.
Farm?
Yeah.
I don't know. People are allowed multiple
like
hobbies.
that.
I've got 4 or 5 myself.
I'm just
do.
saying there was a lot of things that didn't get enough explanation, like the connections with autism and stuff, which was just a feature of this film, but not anything that they've honed in on. There were several little aspects of that were just features of the film, and they didn't give us anything. I think that they could have left some of those out and honed in more on others and made a little bit better film, is all I'm saying. All of the things that they did were kind of cool, but they just didn't pull any of it off well enough for me.
Which is fair.
May I ask a question?
Yes, but just one.
In this movie?
But just one.
All right, perfect. Why did John Lithgow's character hire the accountant knowing he was like a genius accountant, when John Lithgow's character was the one that was cooking the books for his company?
They had a dialogue to explain that.
Yeah, they did mention that in the movie, where if he's about to go public, there's going to be a lot of people going over the numbers, and he wanted to see if it could get found or sought out. So the fact that they could figure it out means that it wasn't done well enough. So it was a setback for his company.
So he was always planning on killing this guy if he figured it out.
I think he was hoping that he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, and then when he did, I think he framed it on his best friend, and then blames Ben Affleck for for forcing his hand, right?
Yeah.
When the reality was he wanted to be taking money out quietly, putting it back in publicly to inflate the price, right?
I understood why he was inflating the price. I just don't understand why he would hire the best person to do the job and then be mad about it when he got it right.
If you hire a shitty person and they can't find it, and then they go public, and like everybody with a brain looks at it and goes, hey, wait a second. I don't know how many people, when the company goes public, I don't know how many people actually go over 15 years of books. I have no idea. But that's the reason they gave us. And I'm like, all right.
It just seemed like a very easy way for this whole thing to implode on him, which could have been resolved any other way. He could have hired somebody to
do you think that maybe there was a better story and they trimmed this down to fit it into 2 hours? Like maybe there was an original script that explained more, had better connections, had more in depth, but it made for a 3-hour movie, and they're like, well, we got to put some stuff on the floor.
Am I crazy, or is this based off a book? I thought this was based off a book.
That's what I was thinking. It kind of feels like it was based off a book, because it feels like there's the potential for a lot of cool things to happen in this, and they could not make it. They just didn't have the execution on it.
It is not based off a book.
Oh, okay. Elder says, no, definitely not.
I don't know.
Talk about
If I was
Oh,
John Lithgow,
sorry, to go back to John Lithgow
yeah,
for a
go
second.
ahead. Yeah.
The other thing is obviously John Lithgow would never think that this guy is a trained assassin.
Right.
So he's hiring somebody who's smart down the street.
Irrelevant.
Well, I mean,
If you bring in the best accountant into your property in your terms and he sorts it out, he never leaves that building. You have somebody ready to take him out because you're obviously ready to kill for it. Obviously.
well, I don't think you want to kill on company property during the daytime, but yeah, I get what you're saying. He thinks he's got, like, he does have like a world-class assassin and a team of assassins on his side. He's willing to kill, was it his sister? Did I miss that? His sister and his best friend? Or is just like two coworkers?
Yeah.
I thought they were just coworkers. I didn't grab sister, but it could be. I could be wrong.
I didn't think it was sister, but then at one point I thought they mentioned it was. I was like, holy shit, he killed his.
I think one was his sister.
Either way, he's clearly willing to kill. He's got
Rita Blackburn,
world class assassins on his side. I'm sure he didn't think anything of it. It was just a matter of like, yeah, get the best person in here, see if they can crack it. If they can't, fantastic, we're golden. If they can, we need to cook the books a little harder, or whatever you do with money like that. That didn't super bother me. It was a little weird, but it was like, okay.
And Sifu Shan in chat makes a good point. This whole thing started because they were supposed to pivot away from dangerous mafia books and go to something solid and safe. And then he ends up with a team of terrorists led by his brother who's going to try and assassinate him because he found a money laundering scheme within. So it's kind of ironic. It was supposed to be a safe bet.
I have another question.
Sure.
I know I was only supposed to have one. Brian,
That's all right. I'll let it slide.
Dan can answer it. What is Ben Affleck's moral code in this? Because it is wishy-washy as far as I'm concerned.
I'd like an answer to this too, Dan.
Why is he killing some people, not other people? He's laundering money himself. He's all over the board on this for me, and I'm not sure why or where or how any of it makes any sense.
I think his moral code makes a bit more sense to me than John Barenthal's. His seemed a little bit more out there because the first time he's in the car with the guy, isn't he like, oh, you're laundering money, you need to stop doing that? And then he starts directly working for somebody who is laundering money. And it was just like, what? Like, where are you coming from on that one? I mean, Ben Affleck, I'm sorry. This movie comes and goes out like in one ear, out the other. Was he not working for the cartels so that he could find out how they worked their business and then take them out from the inside?
Give them away. Yeah, for sure.
Like, isn't that what was happening in the one scene where J.K. Simmons comes in the room? Is basically like he worked for the mob, found out how they worked, took them out?
Yeah, I think so. But then he's also laundering money himself, and his brother is a hired henchman killer. Like, why is he?
Well,
and the only time we ever
why does his brother get a pass? You know, just because it's his brother? Like, that's
well. Here's one thing: we never actually see him utilizing his military skill set any other time except when he goes after the people who killed his cellmate. Right? He goes to get revenge on them. But otherwise, we never see him going after any of the mafia thugs or killing anybody else. We're just led to believe that sort of thing happened, but we were never given any evidence of it whatsoever. Then later, of course, he puts his skills to use against the enemy that John Lithgow pits against him, which turns out to be his brother. So it's a little bit convoluted. There was never a portrayal of the rules, as Dan and I like rules to movies, and we like when people stick to those rules, right, Dan?
For sure.
And we were never given a specific set of rules for his moral code in this. We were just kind of left it up to ourselves to figure it out. And I think that he was working, cooking the books for all these really bad groups, and the nastiest of them that committed whatever form of thing that caused him to say that you crossed the line, he'd give those up, but not all of them, because he only gave up a few to Ray King, J.K. Simmons' character.
Yeah. There's also an argument to be had that he's just straight up not a good person, and he just liked Anna Kendricks. Like, somebody tried to connect with him.
That's the problem I have with this, is that to me, he doesn't come across as that good of a person.
Yeah.
And that's always problematic in the protagonist role, unless you're doing like, an anti-hero. But he doesn't really come across as that either. It just seems too ambiguous and too loosely put together for me to grab onto a side and then at least be like, oh, I love this guy, or oh, I love to hate this guy, or something.
Mhm.
To me, he just was there doing these things because that's what the script told him to do.
Yeah, things were happening to him, and he was reacting to them as opposed to
Yeah.
leading the narrative.
Yeah,
And
he was
Interesting
never
to
really
see-
in control or making choices. Even he wasn't even making choices. The voice was making the choices for him. He was really just a tool used throughout from his young child self, his father using him as a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his father gave him his father gave him a set of rules, and the second rule was loyalty to your family and loyalty to those that you care about. And so, Chat mentions in here, once he likes someone, he has to protect them. So the moral code is to protect at all costs. That kind of makes sense. That falls in line with that second rule that, you're loyal to those who you care about. I forget the first code, just like Dan. There was some very forgettable stuff. I don't remember what it was. I just remember that it was weird that it was like, be loyal to your family as number 2. I think number 1 was like something like, don't trust anybody or something. So, again, this is just a movie that failed to execute at every turn. Had a lot of good opportunities, had a lot of good ideas, had some very, very bad ideas, but overall, it just failed to execute for me.
You want to just roll that into your final?
Yeah, I can go right to my final notes on this one. And at every turn, this movie just kind of let me down. Best case scenario, it was a watered down version of something else that I liked from some other movie. There was always another movie that did whatever aspect of this film that I liked, they did it better. And so this was just kind of, humbug for me. It was nothing much, pretty meh. And then on top of that, the disconnect between the youth version of Christian Wolf and the adult version of Christian Wolf, and in my opinion, terrible acting by Ben Affleck. For somebody who was supposed to have done so much research on that, he really just kind of had like a couple of gimmicky things that he did to showcase that he was autistic, and otherwise, he didn't really come off like a person with any form of autism. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Like Will said, there is a spectrum for a reason. There is no way to put anybody in any one place. But they sure didn't connect the youthful version to the adult version for me, and I found a lot of the things and ideas that they did in this quite offensive. Brought my fun factor just to an all-time low as I watched this. And so for me, I think this is a movie that most people should just go ahead and skip. I don't think it's worth your time. I don't know where this franchise is going to go. I don't have high hopes for number 2, but I think that this is a less than appealing film. I'm giving this a 42 out of 100, and I just think that it's just not worth your time overall.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough. I feel like I wish I came more prepared to this conversation, but
I mean, it is what it is.
No,
what
it's
it is. It's
yeah.
a movie review show. It's not a.
I think your guys' score is going to be way higher than mine. I'm basing this purely as a starting point. I'm like, is this something I would recommend to anyone? And for me, I can't think of anyone I would recommend this to. I don't think it's something that anybody needs to see, and I think it could have been done a lot better in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if
some
we've
of the
reviewed a single movie yet that anybody needs to see, but I get what you're saying.
Right.
City of God,
Hey,
maybe.
City of God was pretty darn good.
rebounding off of City of God also is not.
Yeah, yeah, we're coming off a high to a pretty meh.
The first Thursday of the month is going to be rough. I have a feeling.
It's funny.
All right. Oh, speaking of which, we should do our Patreon shout out. I can just change when it is, I guess.
I'd recommend this to Jennifer Lopez. Layers to that humor right there, Deadpool.
Wow.
If you like what we do and you want to help support us, consider joining our Patreon. There's a link down below. Thank you so much to our executive producers, Real Bubba Hotep and Dino, and a huge shout out to our head writer, Elder JM 990. You guys are helping keep this show on the road, and we greatly appreciate you.
Woo!
All right. How do I even want to broach that? I think I won't. I don't have the same strong opinions towards autism that Brian does. I know some people tangentially, but I don't have a direct connection with them. So I didn't have the issue that they do with Ben Affleck's portrayal of someone with autism or someone coping with. I actually like Ben Affleck. I actually like this cast quite a bit. I think Anna Kendrick did a good job. J.K. Simmons is electrifying in literally every role I've ever seen him in. John Lithgow is a favorite of mine. So John Bernthal, again, great actor, or at least fun actor to watch. I think this movie did have some redeeming factors to it. The writing could have been a little stronger, and the fact that this came out after John Wick makes some of the action a little bit less exciting. But nonetheless, I did enjoy huge chunks of this movie. There's really only the one scene at the end where they're just like giving all the plot away in one exposition dump that was kind of like, okay, this could have been significantly better. But other than that, I really didn't have an issue with that movie, other than it's just so forgettable. Like there's just nothing about this movie that stands out. It's fun to watch. I enjoyed the 2 hours while I was watching it. And I'm going to forget it. And like next week, I'm going to watch it again for the very first time. It's going to be one of those movies for me where it just doesn't stick with me. But I remember liking this in 2016, and I remember liking this from a week ago. I don't think it's a bad movie. I can understand your perspective if his performance bothers you. Absolutely. It didn't bother me. In fact, I actually liked it. But I have to give this one a bit of a ding in the sense that it just doesn't stand out. It doesn't do anything incredible. It just does everything decently. So I get a 70 for this movie. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. I would probably watch it again at some point, but I'm not running out to the theaters to watch the sequels. And I have no idea where Will's going to come in on this one. So that's
hey, always a wild card, hey?
Always.
So while the others were giving their breakdowns and their scoring, I looked up what the rules of accounting were in this, and here's what came back. Debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. 2, debit the receiver, credit the giver. And 3, debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Those are the 3 golden rules of accounting. All right, there. You know what? That wasn't funny, but you know what? There was some funny moments in this movie. And I think it mostly came from the good acting that the good actors that Dan mentioned. I think the cast played well off of each other throughout this movie, and that's what kept it interesting for me. That's what kept my attention the most. The action was okay. The story was convoluted, but like a pretty simple story made overly convoluted just to switch it up, I guess, to make it original. I don't know. I think that's where this fell apart the most for me. And then again, on the autism notes, I don't deal with it every day. I don't have it in my life. I am a supporter of it. And I feel like autism needs to be represented more in film. So I would love to see more autism on the big screen by autistic people. Things like the Love on the Spectrum, I found it is incredible. I find the people in that are hilarious and genuine and caring and fun. So I'll watch that every day of the week. This I probably won't watch again. But that being said, it comes across as a fun popcorn movie, but at least it tried something new. So I give it a partial credit for that. It's not just like a Fast and the Furious 7. It at least tried to turn the action genre a little bit into something unique. So I give it some partial credit. Overall, I give this a 61 out of 100. As far as franchises go, it's not a recommend watch, but it is watchable.
Very nice. I am just now realizing I don't think I've even got the poster remotely ready. Like usually I have like the title ready to go. So
Oh yeah.
Yay, give me 5 minutes.
Casey Wymie, were you watching the stream when I bumped into Tammy and the T-Rex movie? I didn't know that Tammy and the T-Rex was a thing. Denise Richards and
what is Tammy and the T-Rex?
Oh my God! Please go look the trailer up. So I was playing a game called High on Life. It's a first-person shooter, has a lot of crossover with Rick and Morty. And in it, at one sequence, you walk into the guy's house, and literally on the wall is a poster for Tammy and the T-Rex. And I thought it was a hilarious spoof poster. And chat's like, no, that's a real movie. Turn around, Seven. And I turn around my character, and on the living room TV in that same room, in the video game, is a literal copy of Tammy and the T-Rex playing, and you can sit there and watch the whole movie if you want to.
That's super funny.
It was just crazy, and so I kind of want to watch this movie because it looks like an absolute just disaster train wreck kind of film that I think I could enjoy.
Yeah, it sure does. She's like petting a T-Rex head or something there.
Yeah,
Did you say it's Denise Richards?
I think so. The same girl from Starship
it's Denise
Troopers.
Richards. Yeah.
And then it's got what's his face from Fast and the Furious.
Walker.
Yeah, Paul Walker. That's it. I wanted to say
Something about
Brian,
this
but it was
triggering a memory. Like I don't think I've seen it, but I definitely think I've seen the trailer. I'm
Yeah.
not looking at it right now. I'm just going by what you've said.
Yeah. Keep working on that poster, Dan.
I'm working on it.
Anyway, I'm sorry we made you watch this Run 7, but I appreciate your words on it, though.
I think that there's a lot of redeeming aspects in this film. For me, I just really didn't enjoy it, and I think it propagates a lot of bad stereotypes for me. And I just don't. All in all, I just think like there's better movies out there to watch. Like, should you spend 2 hours of your life on this film? And I think there are more films out there. Go watch City of God. Go watch City of God instead of The Accountant, you know?
Yeah, fair. I
mean,
mean,
I won't
very different
disagree with
movies.
that,
Very different
but-
movies.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place.
You know,
Yeah,
go watch John Wick. Go watch, what is it? Glee Club? Was it Glee? Is the TV show? They have a young woman in there with Down syndrome that plays a young woman with Down syndrome, and they don't pull their punches on that subject, and they face it head on. And it has some great, just eye-opening sequences in that show. I really like Glee because of its honesty and its involvement in social minorities and social abnormalities that they don't shy away, and they hit real hard with their subject matter and the way that they deal with them. I think that show's pretty good myself. So I think there's a good place to go if you want to look at. How about I think it's called. It's not Us. It's what's the one with the?
This Is Us.
This Is Us. Is that the one with Lorelai Gilmore, and she plays one of the moms in it?
No idea.
No, it's Parenthood. Parenthood, the TV show. The new Parenthood, the TV show.
Oh, yeah, with Max.
Yes, with Max. Max has Asperger's and later meets an adult, Ray Ramon, who plays an adult with Asperger's and does a much better job of playing someone on the spectrum. I thought it was a much more accurate portrayal and great storytelling and great acting. A child actor who does a fantastic job in that show. Those are some great shows if you want to deal with a little more of this subject matter.
In fairness, they also have a lot more time to deal with the subject matter.
That's true, yeah. And there's no gunfights in Parenthood, so.
I think the part that's part of the issue with this movie is it kind of was trying to do a lot of different things, a lot of different genres, and so it just didn't quite live up to any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was just it made it harder on themselves than maybe they needed to for some of that. Because there was the action, there was tried to do thriller, they tried to do some suspense, they tried to put romance in there, they tried
a big plot twist, which I didn't even recognize was a plot twist until somebody pointed that out to me, and I'm like, you didn't see that? I thought that was that was for the audience to understand, but the characters in the movie to not get it. Like,
yeah, it's I don't know. It was an interesting movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know the director. I'm not familiar with him. He directed The Warrior with your boy there, Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah, The Warrior was good. I like
really good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Gavin O'Connor. And I feel like what I've heard, I haven't seen it, but I feel like it's got a lot of great characters in that movie as well. So I feel like this director is good with character work.
Mm-hmm.
maybe not so much a full through line, things like that.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the characters in this film. I thought Anna Kendrick did a spot-on job. Her character was solid the whole way through and did a great job of interacting with Ben Affleck in some of the scenes where she's clearly a numbers nerd herself and is excited and interested. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember who said it, but somebody in chat, like way back at the very beginning, was like, "Oh, my favorite part is how Annie Kendrick was turned on by math." I'm like, I have coworkers who are 100%.
yeah, that was Bernsey. Bernsey said that. Yeah.
Yeah, like that is absolutely a thing. It doesn't do it for me, but that's besides the point. Anyways, all right. So with that, I hate how it does this. There we go. Nope.
We'll get there eventually.
All right. So with that, we have our final score. Not our final score. Our score for the first Anchorman Accountant. All right. With that, we have our score for Accountant. Just the first one coming in at 58. This is honestly lower than I thought it would be. I knew Brian wasn't a big fan, but I'm shocked it's as low as it is, and I'm sure it's only going to get lower. None of us have seen The Accountant 2, but nothing I was reading online says that it's going to bring this score up. So, yeah,
I don't know. I saw some things, people saying it was better, actually.
Really?
I've heard both.
yeah.
Yeah, I've heard both.
I mean, I was the highest on this one, so I'd love to come in and enjoy it as well. But
Right.
yeah,
Obviously, I enjoyed Jurassic World more than The Accountant. I definitely enjoyed Gremlins more than The Accountant. So I still think it's a tiny bit high for me. We'll see how number 2 goes. Knowing the subject matter and have already broken the seal on my angst for their portrayal and mostly their transition from the youthful version to the adult version of Christian Wolf. I think I can probably put that on the shelf going into number 2 and hopefully enjoy it a little bit more for what it is and just kind of let it go.
Being a sequel, it might be that way because they don't need to touch on that growing up as much, maybe, like the abuse side of it. There might be a lot, because it feels like it's going to be him and his brother kind of taking on the world now. That's what the sequel kind of looks like to me. Without knowing anything about
like
it.
They're going against each other, so I don't know.
Oh,
what
okay,
comes
could be.
between them, but
yeah. Either way, I think it's going to be if there's more John in this, I'm okay with that. He's fun to watch. He's quick and witty in the first one, so I would assume there'd be more of that. And so if they lean away from the childhood trauma and lean into the fun action comedy,
I hope they turn it into a bit more of a brotherly kind of love situation, a buddy cop kind of situation where Bernthal can kind of mock Ben Affleck a little bit.
Exactly.
I think that could be a lot more fun and entertaining, and I could, and then maybe we can explore Ben Affleck's ability to try and portray someone on the spectrum a little bit better. Hopefully, he can do a little bit job. Just work a few more features into it, a few more aspects of things, because really you had like 3 pieces of silverware perfectly aligned in the drawer when he opens it up. Like there were a few little things, but just not really enough for me to get a feel for his character situation. And I would like to point out that I don't believe that their father in this movie was being portrayed as someone who is intentionally abusive. I think that his father loved him and just felt that the best way for him to become
the only way he knew how.
The only way he knew how was to do it this way. You never saw the father hit them. He actually seemed like he was actually a fairly loving man just from the military who doesn't express his emotion as readily.
Even when the mother left, right? He was holding his son, being like, let's get through this, you know?
Yeah, the mother was a piece of shit. So sorry. Any parent that abandons their children, I'm sorry. I got no love for you.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think it's fair on the husband's perspective. From the wife's perspective, from the very, very, very minimal that we get from her, it doesn't look like she has an opinion on anything.
Yeah.
Like she was like, no, I think this would be best for our son. He's like, absolutely not. We're not doing this. And then like we see them trying to raise the kids the way he wants to raise them.
That's true. You're right.
And
she is being
like,
drugged along with no choice. We gotta point that out. Maybe she did try and she wasn't allowed.
With the kids after that.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like running off with another man kind of a thing. I'm not absolving her by any stretch. And I'm certainly not advocating for leaving your kid.
But you're right. There's more color to this picture than I'm allowing. So yeah.
Maybe we could have got more of that than the 10-minute monologue J.K. Simmons gave.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love J.K. Simmons' monologue. I love that little backstory, but it was so over the top and unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I don't know that it was entirely unnecessary. I think you could have sprinkled it through the movie,
Right.
As opposed to just,
Paste
here's
it
10
out.
minutes of
Sure.
dump.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it did make his character pivot so hard. Like all of a sudden he just sits down on the couch, pulls his hat down over his eyes and tells this story that drastically changes his whole character.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, there was
felt
a couple-
their subplot in general could have been removed, and it would have been a tighter movie.
Yeah.
Like it gave a little bit of like backstory to the accountant, which is like, okay, whatever, but you're getting that anyway with his past, and they have other ways of putting that in already. It just seemed like it was an unnecessary segment, but maybe that's coming in to the next part of this franchise.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Chat's pointing out some different movies that they really love J.K. Simmons. I think J.K. Simmons is a very popular actor amongst us and our viewers here on Twitch. And if anybody hasn't seen the movie Whiplash, I believe that is J.K. Simmons' one of his best performances. You will absolutely hate him in that movie.
Yeah.
And
It's abusive.
Yes, because he does such a fantastic job. I wanted to mail him a handwritten hate note of why I was so angry with him after that movie, because he did such a good job portraying that character. He's a phenomenal actor for sure.
Yeah, he's great.
I don't disagree with anything you said. I think when Brian and I did like my top 20, I'm pretty sure that was in probably high top 10. Like it's such a phenomenal film.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I won't say much more about it because I would love to actually do that on the show at some point.
Heyo. We can't talk about anything anymore.
I do not want it to be sequeled. I do not want a Whiplash too.
Exactly.
But that movie's just so freaking good. Anyway,
something we can speak about. Go ahead.
All right, no more all rights.
All right.
So that's our rating of The Accountant, but what's yours? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. We record this at twitch.tv/The Mongoolie Show every Thursday night, so come on over there and hit the follow button if you want to hang out with us live, or if you made it this far in the video, you probably enjoyed it. Hit like and subscribe on this video, so I see you in the next one.
All right.
Almost one take. It was as close as we can get. All right. Yeah, no, J.K. Simmons is phenomenal. So I don't know how I want to word this, so I'm going to fumble it a little bit. But if we're watching movies where people can be superhuman, whether it's like, not like superheroes like The Flash, but like John Wick, Rambo, stuff like that, and we can accept it like, okay, the hero is going to be portraying a hyper realistic version of what people can actually do. Why wouldn't we allow that in a situation where we're talking about somebody with autism and allow them to be a super version of what they actually are? Now, I realize the negative there is you see men in every movie, so when you have a super version of one, it's obvious, whereas you don't see autism very often. But it was one of those things where I'm just like, autism is such a huge spectrum. We're learning more and more about it every single day. Why can't we have a superhero with autism?
I think we should have more super adept people at certain skill sets. And I think we've seen that before. You just don't think about it in the context of this movie because he has two abilities. One, his ability for numbers, and two, his ability to kill people at long range. And I think the portrayal of how he becomes this is so wildly obscene that's the problem I have with it. We've seen people with singular superpowers. Rain Man, right? He goes to the casino and cleans house, and it's a very fun film to watch. That was one of the first introductions we saw to someone on the spectrum. Whether you thought that was an accurate portrayal or not, I thought it was a fairly decent portrayal, especially for the time and how we didn't have much knowledge of that. And I thought that movie brought to light that subject. And I thought it did a pretty darn good job at the time of how to handle that. And so we do see people who have amazing skills. John Wick is somebody who put his entire life into gunplay and martial arts, right? That's what he excels at. any movie where you have somebody who puts their life's effort into becoming the best at whatever they do is similar to John Wick. It's just a different skill set. You could say that Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street put everything he had into making money by ripping people off, and it led this extravagant lifestyle and an amazing story, right? He's not killing people with guns or doing martial arts, but he spent his whole life screwing women and screwing people out of their money. So that's what he was good at. And we see that in a lot of films. I just think we just don't get a lot of opportunities to see people on the spectrum utilize their skills, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. One, this movie doesn't really push that it's a superhero movie, even though he is pretty much a super being in multiple ways. So that's weird because it's such a grounded in reality put out to us in that way. So it's hard to be like, oh, why is this guy so unstoppable in everything he does? But on top of that, I think one issue with the representation of autism we're getting on the big screen is this and Rain Man are probably the two biggest, and they're both mathematical savants. And that's like such a small segment of the autistic community. And that's all people are seeing and being like, oh, so if you're autism, you're a genius in math. And that's definitely not the case.
There's so many autistic people that are amazing musicians, painters, sketchbook artists. There's people who create the most amazing things you've ever seen in all spectrums of life because they get obsessed with one thing. And that's one thing they could have done differently in this movie. His father could have been working with him in traditional means of dealing with people who are on the spectrum and helping him along, and then gets this clue that, hey, his son gets obsessed with finishing tasks, and he could put it before his son that he should try to achieve a black belt in Taekwondo. And his son would become obsessed with Taekwondo and put all of his effort into training Taekwondo, and they could go through...
That is a trait.
They could have gone through... they could have gone through a montage of him trying to achieve all these goals in different martial arts skills, in gunplay or whatever. They didn't just have to show his father being this really stern figure who pays somebody to literally beat the crap out of his kids. And I just thought that was a terrible way to go about it.
I think in movies and television in general, I think it would just be better to normalize autism and what it is and what we know about it by putting them on the screen and letting them tell their stories and that kind of thing. Is that easier said than done? Abso-fucking-lutely. But
it's worth the effort.
This is like the tiniest step that unfortunately misguides people a little bit, being like, oh, autism means you're a genius in math and you're so focused that you can be an expert marksman and you could be an expert martial artist because you're so focused, you have to complete your tasks. And that doesn't really give a realistic portrayal. Although there are people on the spectrum who are like, hey, my autism is my superpower, right? Because it does allow me to do some of these things that other people don't. And the big one is math, because a lot of people gravitate towards math because it has
rigid structure.
It's got rigid structures. There's only right and wrong in math. And so they gravitate towards that because they know if they're right or wrong, and you can't question it. Whereas other people on the spectrum most definitely go into music, most definitely go into other arts and things like that. And they do excel at it because they practice it so much. If I had the ability to practice something like that and not lose my mind, I would be good at something in my life. But right now, I'm just failing all around.
I'm like the opposite. I'm like the opposite of autism. I have the attention span of a hummingbird. I stick with one thing for about 45 seconds, and then I'm on to the next thing.
I am the exact same way, and there's so many things. I'm gonna just talk about streaming for a second, where like behind the scenes I'll be like, that's really cool, I should figure out how to do that, and I will learn how to do it well enough to do it one time.
Absolutely.
Forget that skill. 100%. It breaks 6 months from now, my brain goes, oh, man. I have no idea how I did that.
Delete. When I get to the point in a video game where not even beat the video game, but know that I can beat the video game, or understand the strategy that people are using to get good at the video game. Once I understand it, become bored with it. But I love figuring out the puzzle. It's just as soon as the puzzle is solved for me, even if I don't actually put the puzzle pieces together, but I know how they're gonna fit together, that's good enough, and I'm on to the next thing.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, to answer your question, Dan, yes, I think it's okay to have superheroes with differing abilities, things like that. Absolutely. Did this movie execute that? Not great in my mind.
No, and that's completely fair. Like you're allowed to like this movie to whatever degree you do like it.
For sure.
It was just one of those things where it's like, I guess I didn't put everything that about I didn't equate everything about Ben Affleck's character down to autism. Right? Like he is a character, he has autism, also these things. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he was a phenomenal shooter, maybe that was partially because he's autistic. Maybe that was because of how he was raised. Like we see his brother is also phenomenal marksman and is a military-minded person.
And therein lies my problem, because they don't show the transition from him being a high needs, special needs kid, someone who is not functioning on their own or not going to function on their own without the proper training and teaching and encouragement. And they transition into what Ben Affleck is in the future, and they don't showcase the how that could actually be possible. It just
from what they do show.
From what they do show is definitely not.
Yeah.
When he's in the room with the flashing lights and he's running that baton up and down his shins and the loud music and stuff, I'm like, if you do that to a high needs autistic person, especially somebody with Asperger's, you're going to end up with a broken, non-functioning human being. Like that just doesn't. That just blew me away that they think, well, we're going to desensitize you to the thing that absolutely makes you lose your mind.
No, it's not desensitizing. That's what I was looking up into. It is an interruption technique. It is a way of stopping. Now, I'm going off of what I read one time.
Oh, okay.
So bear with me. It is a way of focusing on one thing as opposed to
take his mind off of the others. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's why he's
not like, oh, I have to get used to this. It's more like, no, this is purposefully breaking.
Okay, so that would explain why after the 15-minute timer runs out, he's still losing his shit because he's dealing with an incredibly stressful situation. He's using that
he can't
as a deterrent to break his mental path. Okay, I misunderstood that in the film. I thought that was part of his training regime to help him to deal with crazy loud bangs and flashes.
Right.
Okay.
And had I not read the internet, I would have 100% been on the same page with you.
Okay.
But reading that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's not how I interpreted that. And they probably could have explained that.
Yeah, they probably should have.
His dad straight up says like, oh, well, that's not how the world is. The world is loud and violent.
Yeah, he needs more noise and loud stuff. And I'm just like,
yeah.
And then they show this. So that's what I connected that first scene with his dad with the flashing light sequence and thought that was part of his training regimen. And that that makes a little bit more sense. Still don't know if that's the best way to interrupt disruptive behavior in a person on the spectrum, but okay.
The other thing that was odd, the other thing that kind of stands out is like, no, his character's not all of these things because of autism, but kind of yes, because his dad probably wouldn't have done all this to him without the autism. So it still stems there to a degree because, you know, his wife probably wouldn't have left him. They wouldn't have had to go into like crazy mode of like, I have to break you of this cursed autism you have and make it your superpower. You know, that wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have gotten the same accountant because it all stems from him having autism. And so I think that might be part of the issue.
Yeah.
It's post hoc ergo proctor hoc, like after it, therefore because of it.
Right.
It's flawed logic, but I understand what you're saying, right? Like there's so many, assuming this is a real person and a real thing and not a movie we watched for 2 hours, there are so many decisions that would happen over the course of a lifetime that would determine things like that, right?
100%, yeah.
But yeah, for what we see in the movie,
Here's something that kind of occurred to me on my second watch of the film. It's completely different to what we've been talking about. His father came off to me the second time as though he was a black ops specialist or somebody, because they were trying to find his father, and his father had aliases. Like they were like, oh, the dead guy at the funeral, his was an alias also. And I was like, hey, I wonder if that's why his dad was so stern about, no, we're not going to settle down, because I'm at the top of my game in the psyops world, and I think they did even say that he was psyops, and he sounded like he was somebody maybe a little bit more important than just some colonel, you know? And so that might have been a little bit better explained if they would have brought that out into the forefront. That's something that they could have spent more time on instead of J.K. Rowling's narrative. Did I say J.K. Rowling's?
Yeah, you did.
You did.
Okay.
Which would be a very different movie if you had heard her narrative for 10 minutes
Yeah.
in the middle of it. Then I might not have liked it.
No. Simmons, sorry.
Oh boy.
Can I ask
Yep.
one more potentially controversial topic before we move on?
Sure.
Not necessarily
Run,
directed at this
bitch!
movie, just in general.
Run!
But it did kind of
Intriguing.
come up because of this. What are your thoughts on? There are people who say you can only hire actors who are of a certain type if they're going
Right.
to play a certain type of role.
Right.
I disagree with that pretty hard. But where do you guys land on that?
I don't understand the question. Explain it to me.
So,
if
in
you
this
want to
case,
play a homosexual in a movie, you have to be a homosexual in real life, because otherwise, how could you possibly understand what it's like to be a homosexual?
Didn't Brokeback Mountain like break some huge records and stuff? Like,
I'm just asking your personal opinion. I'm not.
I
Because
think
hear
the
that
whole,
argument
I think
quite a
what
bit
makes a
these days.
great actor is someone who can portray something that they are absolutely not in real life. I think that's the best part of acting, is to bring to life something that you have no connection with. Make the impossible possible. And if we're just going to take apples to be apples, what's the fun in that, man? I think that makes for terrible film writing. I think we should explore, I think we should challenge people to step outside of their social roles and portray things that maybe they even disagree with. You know, I think that makes for the most interesting portrayal of characters myself.
I'm of two camps on this.
Sure.
One, being an actor, I would love to have any opportunity to do many different things that I wouldn't normally do. But on the other hand, I do feel representation does matter, and that if there is somebody who is perfectly eligible for a role, say in this specific movie, somebody with Asperger's who could portray the role, giving it to Ben Affleck doesn't make any sense to me. When you have somebody, aside from, oh, it's Ben Affleck, we're going to get
I was going to say he sells tickets.
Affleck
Yeah, I get what
appeal,
you're saying.
right? But that seems like the wrong reason to do it, is to, oh, we're going to sell tickets because of Ben Affleck, compared to, hey, this up and coming actor with Asperger's fits perfect, right? They actually have lived experience. They can portray this excellently. Throw them in the role, given that opportunity. The problem then becomes, though, is how many people are out there? How do you find them? You know, is there enough roles for those people to fill? It's such a complex situation that it's very hard to just be like, oh yeah, no, yeah. If you're not homosexual, you are not eligible for this role, because it doesn't always line up with what can be done, right? It's a very difficult it's very difficult to navigate, and I know this more than most just because live theater is going through this huge, constantly trying to represent all kinds of different people more in the arts, and what kind of quality, and if people are going to go see it, and all of those things. Like, can we even make money off it? Are we just going to lose everything because we're trying to navigate this equality of availability, all of that stuff. And it's just like a very deep and complicated situation that's hard to navigate. So I am on both sides in some ways, and I think you have to take it case by case in some ways.
I think I came across saying I'm very hardly against this, and I think I actually agree with Will more than I think I came across a little strong. I agree with everything Brian said. Like, a great actor should be able to play any role, but there is definitely something to be said about, some people won't be given the opportunity to show that they're a great actor because there might be somebody else like a Ben Affleck. I don't want to pick on Ben Affleck, but like
Sure,
a major star
Yeah.
who can do it and will sell seats because he had the opportunity previous to that. I completely understand that. I guess it's hard because I have to. This will sound so stupid, and I apologize if this comes across as like not self-promotion, but like, patting myself on the back. I almost have to remind myself that not everybody thinks the way that I do, where it's like I would hire the best person for the job, and if they're autistic, gay, black, straight, whatever, they're the best person for the job. But there are so many people out there who would not even look at some of those people because they are whatever they are. That's just not the world we actually live in. Right.
Right.
Like it's a little too rainbowy in my head.
But here's the thing. Fuck those people. Let's write a really good script and cast the right person for it. And then if it happens to be someone with autism who's playing someone with autism and it's a really good script and a really good movie, it helps shine light on this situation and normalizes this so that it can open the door for other people to take those kinds of roles. It's just been a really long time since I've ever seen anybody with a disability playing that disability like I saw in Glee. Like, that shocked me when I saw that person playing that role, and I was like, this is fantastic. I want more of this so that other people can do this more often.
But let me ask you this, Ron. Do you think Glee went out of their way to find somebody, or do you think they were like, oh, yeah, anybody can apply and we'll just cast from that?
I have no idea, but I would guess that little girl, that cheerleader with Down syndrome, is the character we're talking about. I would guess that she was related to a director or a writer. She knew somebody, and they said, hey, this person would be perfect for this role, and we can shine light on this subject, and it'd be a great topic to approach, and they wrote her into the script. That's how I envision that playing, because Glee was the show that Glee was. Now, in other movies, I just don't see them doing a casting call and having a lot of people with extreme abnormalities of any kind of differences showing up to those casting calls. You'd probably get your normal run-of-the-mill actors and actresses who are up and coming, trying out for that. I'm guessing. I just don't know.
Mm-hmm. So I think, Will? Well, I mean, in that specific case, I don't. Okay. But I think the issue is up until recently, that's never even been thought about.
Right.
Like, nobody thought, hey, let's cast Rain Man with somebody on the spectrum. Nobody even thought about that.
Well, so just the idea of a movie about someone on the spectrum was pretty outside the box.
Exactly.
The extra step of casting someone? No, that never landed at all.
So the thing is, right now, that push is in it's a huge push right now in live theater specifically. I don't know. I think in some television and movies, but not maybe as much as it could be. But I think it's like you have to at least open that door. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times it's not even an option to open. And I think that's the bigger problem than being like, no, we have to cast everybody in the roles because they physically or mentally suit those roles. I think in an ideal world, obviously, the door is open for everybody for every role, and you can cast then based on that. Mm-hmm.
Well, and there's
you could swap genders for certain roles, right? Because sure, they're written for a man, but maybe it could be played by a woman just as easily. If the right woman's in the running, go for it. That kind of thing isn't really just accepted right now, and it would be nice in an ideal world if we could do that, and we might get more colorful, interesting performances from doing that. But it's, again, way easier said than done.
Well, originally in theater, men played all the roles, males and females.
Correct.
Right.
Women were not allowed on stage. Yes.
And I'm glad they let women in, and I hope they let everyone in. I don't think we should be limiting it. But there's another side to this also. When you talk about utilizing people with maybe mental disabilities, there is a case where those people could be taken advantage of by, say, Hollywood, to put them in a role and use them for their situation to make money. And that's still, it's just something that needs to be mentioned. It's a risk that's run. I would hope that people that the people who care for those of serious debilitating issues, I hope that their caretakers would be responsible enough to protect them from the dangers of the industry.
It still happens with child actors.
Sure.
You know.
Yep.
Lots. So it's like there's always that risk, and obviously, you know, when there's big money involved, there's always going to be crooked people involved too, somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
So,
Unfortunately.
I mean, that's just an unfortunate part of this this not ideal universe we live in, obviously. So
yeah.
Anyway, it is an interesting subject for sure, Dan, and it's a great question.
I mean, if nothing else, and I'm not saying this is necessarily the point of this movie that we were talking about at all, but like it's brought up some interesting conversations tonight.
It sure
It
has.
wasn't
Yeah.
just, oh man, the gun sounded really cool, and I really like the way the guy's head exploded. Like, I think we've gone into some pretty interesting places here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I kind of like this chat. I hope I didn't make it too deep by, you know, kind of coming in hot or anything. I didn't want to scare you guys, but I did want to let you know.
No,
I
it's
would
good.
love to know what's going on with my lights. They're just flashing right every couple of minutes.
The
Like,
lights are
I don't
just
see
going
any
crazy.
alerts going off. What is happening?
No, I appreciate you being willing to open up too, Ren, because you know that in a lot of cases that isn't easy, and it's good that you're open to talk about that. And I think again, like
Yeah.
Dan said, it brought us to some conversations and different things than we usually talk about, which is great. I think
One reason I don't
our
talk
numbers will plummet, but it was great.
I don't talk about
They can't get much lower. Let's be honest.
my family members for the main reason that I always feel like when I bring them up, I feel like there's the possibility that I'm exploiting them for the sake of this conversation or for sympathy or something like that. So
Get that impression whatsoever.
I know it's that whole they got a term for it, but
Yeah.
I just so I try to avoid it, but at the same time I also kind of want to hopefully give some positive representation to people in that situation because it's important to me. I don't know, it's just a walk of life.
And again, that's exactly why I wanted to like look at different people's thoughts on this movie who actually were on the spectrum. And as I said, like it was about 50-50. Some were just like, you know what? It's just fun to see somebody up there that I can relate to.
Anything's better than nothing.
In some way.
Right, yeah.
I understand that they have some similarities to me, but aren't, you know, my specific case of autism.
Yeah.
And then others saying like, no, this should never happen. There should be consultants on the movie with the conditions that are being represented. People in the roles should be representing those roles, things like that. So, you know, again, it's all over the spectrum of what people want to see as well. So
Well, and one of the things that I was reading when I was looking around was like, yes, Ben Affleck and the director and the writer, I want to say,
writer, yeah,
we're going around and we're talking to people, but they were largely talking to the parents and not to
exactly.
the actual autistic people. Be like, what's your experience been like? So you're getting the parents' perspective of like what they think.
Exactly. It's through the eyes of the non-divergent, right?
Right.
And
so like I give them props for trying, but like go that one extra step.
And
Exactly.
actually, just having this conversation with you guys and telling me about the research that you guys did about this film, it kind of lets me think, okay, maybe this isn't so much of a deplorable portrayal and transition from the youth to the adult and the connections made. Maybe this was more just poor execution in the writing. Maybe they meant to portray, like there were some things in here that enlightened me on that it goes, oh, I didn't make that connection. I was perceiving it in a different way when it was meant to be understood this way. And it helps me out a little bit. Still, maybe took it from a 42 to a 44, but still,
Poster.
but still, you know, it's this was I actually had a lot of fun talking about this, a much more serious tone for sure than we've had before. Hopefully, we can come into the sequel next week and have a little bit more fun with it, and just be like, hey. We got serious last week. Let's just enjoy this one for what it is. At least I'm going to try and approach it that way and have a little bit more fun with it because I've said all I need to say. And you guys represented some great points. I was happy to listen to all of them. And Chad as well, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, The interesting, I don't know how to word this. I feel like I'm always so like walking on eggshells with topics like this because I am like I don't want to come across as like ableist or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, sure. Or ignorant or whatever.
well,
right?
exactly. Like
Mhm.
my life has been so good and easy that whatever, I've got opinions on shit that I don't know anything about. But like kind of, you know what I mean? Like I don't have the direct connection to anybody with like serious, like,
Well, you know
I
what?
have a family member and I don't want to out them, but like they're not somebody I see very often, right? Like I've interacted, but that's about it. Like
Right.
working where I work, I've dealt with people with various degrees of mental challenges. Shit, this is the wording
sure.
that I'm always bad with.
I've
But
always
like I
changed
don't know
this too.
there's specific case studies or anything. I just,
Yeah.
you know,
Here's
something is clearly wrong with this person. You have to try and still treat them like a person and deal with them the best way that you can. And sometimes that's really tricky, and sometimes that's a little easier.
Mhm.
But I don't have. Somebody in chat was saying like they had to learn from scratch. I've never had to learn from scratch. Like I've never had to be confronted with it. We're like, oh shit, I need to know how to deal with this because I'm going to be living this for years. You know, it's always just been like, you know, make it through the day and tomorrow's a new one. You know, I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but it's tough to talk about this kind of stuff having no perspective on it. So that's why I wanted to do at least the barest minimum amount of research, because again, if I came into this being like, man, he is such a great actor and he's doing such a great job, and the entire autism community was like, fuck this movie. Like, oh, all right, my bad.
And here's something that this is something that it kind of sucks in our current state, is that the cancel culture is so eager to jump on people who maybe lack a perspective that they think should be owned by everyone. And so I and you guys as well, we're middle-aged white guys who don't really have anything super horrible going on in our life.
In my prime, run.
Whatever. But right? And so we're told that we're not allowed to talk about certain things. We don't even need to talk about it, because sometimes I do actually agree with the sentiment. But
Yep.
we have an opinion, and it may not be a very heightened perspective opinion, but it is the opinion that we have from our perspective, and it's equally valid. And what we need to be sure that we do is, when we talk about our opinions, that we don't infringe on other people's opinions and beliefs, that we be respectful of others. And so we can share, hey, I may be ignorant on this subject, but here's what I know and here's how I feel. Tell me what you feel and think, and we can share a conversation about this. And because that conversation exists, because we're allowing people to share their opinions and their experiences, as weak or limited as they may be, we're able to enlighten other people and grow ourselves by that exchange of ideas.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, yes, 100%.
Yeah. Well, be the change.
Like, I enjoy talking with you guys because I know you're both open and willing to listen and learn or inform me, and likewise, right? We are respectful of each other, but unfortunately, a lot of people aren't that way.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets.
And Dan,
And most of what I come across, like, I will tell you my opinions on things, but I very rarely will be like, this is factually what is going happen. Like,
100%.
I try to
just
never
not
do
who
that.
I am.
I try to never do that.
So worst case scenario, like, opinions can change.
Yeah.
Like, if I come into this being like, man, I think this is a phenomenal movie about autism and whatnot, and you guys are just like, no, dude, it's just not. And you can like open my eyes and be like, oh, like, all right, that's totally fair. Like,
In
I was
some
wrong, or-
cases, it can be best case scenario opinions change. But again, we don't typically go deep on anything for that.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Dan, I almost got the feeling like you were hesitant to maybe openly express and share your ideas because you thought you might offend one of us. Did you feel that way in the beginning of this conversation because of the way I kind of opened? I hope not.
So no part of me was going to be like, I'm going to open with an autistic joke. And then you think, oh shit, like, that wasn't like on my agenda, right? But like you'd mentioned something, I think last week when we first talked about this movie, you're like, oh, I really don't like this, or I don't like Ben Affleck's portrayal. And I was trying to like come up with a lighthearted, like, you know, this is the spectrum. Like, it depended on how you were going to broach the subject. And I didn't realize how personal a connection you had. So I didn't want to yeah, I didn't want to offend you, but I never felt like I was going to, right? Like that
Yeah.
was never my intention. I was never going to try.
I don't think
Like,
either one of you guys would ever intentionally offend me. And if you did say something that actually offended me, I would know that it was probably on accident, or you simply have a different perspective, and that's okay. I wouldn't be offended by it. I might just be like, wow, that's interesting, and just let it go.
there was in what 52 episodes now, one time where I think any one of us actually,
Yeah.
I don't want to say even got offended, but just like emotions ran higher.
Yeah.
Right. And we were able to talk about that and we were able to work our way through that. But there was definitely that moment of like, oh, I don't want to have that happen. Whether it's about
No,
a joke
for sure.
or about an opinion or about whatever. Like, that's not what I come here to do
Yeah.
on a Thursday night.
The fact that we've proven that we can hit those moments and move past them shows that we're able to encounter that again and handle it even better the next time if it does happen. But I think we're getting pretty good at this in the first place. I would like to say that some of the funniest Down syndrome jokes I've ever heard came from a Down syndrome person.
Fair.
Can you wait till you're on your own channel there?
And there are some stand-up comedians that
Yeah, for sure.
I the names always forget, but there's a stand-up comedian who his entire skit is about his sister who had I believe it was Down syndrome, I don't remember, and she ended up dying tragically. And he made an entire funny skit about her, making fun of her, and it was somehow tasteful and beautiful and it was just perfect. And so I also think that with the right amount of skill and talent, you can still tell jokes about anyone and any situation and make people laugh, hold a mirror up to the world, make the world a better place by being open and discussing those things, as long as you start from an intent of helping and being kind to one another. As long as that is your starting point and a little bit of skill, you don't just bumble into those territories for sure, because I've seen it go bad. I think that there's lots of opportunities.
I mean, we're going off on a little bit of a tangent now. I think almost anything can be funny in the hands of a professional. Like if it's done right, I think almost anything can be funny.
Yeah.
There is a comedian that I saw. I didn't think of this until you started talking about it. There's a comedian. I don't know what he has. He mentions it in his stand-up, and I'm blanking on it, so I don't want to say and be wrong. But he makes that the point of his stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't want to say he's like making fun of himself, but he's definitely like, yeah, guys, I see it too. Don't you worry. Like I'm shaking and I'm terrified up here, and like they're not connected. Like I'm shaking and I'm terrified. Two totally separate things.
I think I know the comedian you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, like he was pretty funny. I only saw like little bits on TikTok, but he was pretty good. Okay, so let's go. I don't know, less serious, more serious. I just have a curious question because I hear it a lot, but I haven't talked to you guys about it. Why do you guys dislike Ben Affleck?
Oh, yeah, it's not. Okay, so for me specifically, I feel like he's kind of like a one-note actor. Like he does kind of the snarky a-hole character, okay, but his range beyond that doesn't really draw me in. I even like when he's in like a rom-com, it doesn't really do anything for me. Maybe it's the roles he picks, or maybe it's just I haven't seen the range that I would like to see from him. He just doesn't grab me like a lot of other actors do. Like J.K. Simmons is like a beautiful character actor who can just run with it, and he's strong, powerful performance. I just don't get that same feeling from Ben. And on top of that, even I'll go with like Keanu Reeves, I don't think is a great actor, but he has something that draws you in. Like that's, I don't know what it is, star appeal or whatever. You just gravitate towards him. He just seems like a really genuine person, even though he's not the best actor. You like watching him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even get that from Ben. So it's just from what I've seen, and to my fault, I gave up watching a lot of his stuff because I didn't, and maybe he's grown a lot and done a lot better things. But on the opposite side of the coin, I've really enjoyed some of the things he's directed. So I just feel like he's got a better grasp on that side of the entertainment industry, and that's fine. You know, I'll support him in that way instead of being like, oh God,
Yeah.
Batman.
I think simply he's overrated as an actor and underrated as a director. That's it. That's all there is to it. He's not bad as an actor. I just think he's overrated. I don't like him as much as most other people do. I think he's a little bit blasé in his character breadth, and his depictions of the characters that he does do. They just kind of bore me a little bit.
And I guess otherwise, like when I have seen him in stuff, it's like freaking Dogma, and you know, his buddy is better than him.
Yeah, he did good in Good Will Hunting, but he was upstaged by everybody around him.
I think Matt Damon's a better actor.
Yeah.
So
I'm not arguing that he's the greatest actor, but he seems to get a lot of hate, and I'm like, I don't hate him at all. I think he's
fine.
I think he's good. Like I like going the opposite way. You said you don't like a lot of the roles he takes. He definitely had a period there where he was just cashing paychecks, and he literally had a movie called Paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Like, he couldn't have been more on the nose.
Was that the time travel movie where he could see into the future?
I don't
I don't
remember, to be
know what
perfectly
it
honest.
was.
I think I saw it.
Yeah,
but I don't really care.
he built a machine where he could see into the future, and it took place retrospectively. Like at first they put him in a room and he like reverse engineered that laptop to be 3-dimensional depiction, and then they hire him to figure out how to see into the future, how to solve this problem, and he ends up building a machine that looks into the future, and then he uses that to solve the problem, and by the end of the movie you realize that he already knows all of the answers, and so there was never any danger, because he would always have the object he needed at the right moment to move to the next step in the movie. He had the paperclip just in time to unlock the handcuffs or something, you know? And yeah, I didn't like well, and then his acting was terrible in that.
Oh, I think there was definitely like a 5 to 10 year period where he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, he was just like, I can get paid this much to be in things. Late Changing Lanes, Reindeer Games, Phantoms, that one, Paycheck. Like there's definitely a down period for sure.
Right.
But I think his early career, I think, was pretty strong with like
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. Frick, why did I just blank as soon as I started saying words?
Daredevil.
No.
Shakespeare in Love.
The one with Matt Damon and Ben Fraser, and they're in a preppy school.
School Ties.
School Ties. Dazed and Confused. Dogma.
I liked him in Dazed and Confused. I actually enjoyed him in that. He played that douchebag dickhead.
Oh yeah.
I actually thought he did a solid job in that one. That might have been one of his best performances for me, was Dazed and Confused. That smaller role there.
Yeah, and then his more recent stuff with like The Town, Argo. I actually liked him quite a bit as Batman. I was surprised how much I liked him as Batman.
Yeah, I was okay with him as Batman.
It wasn't the worst, but just those movies in general aren't great.
Oh, the movies were bad, but I thought he did a good job. What is the one where he's a drunk? I mean, all of them, but the Way Back, I thought he did a really good job in. Gone Girl was phenomenal.
Didn't he direct Gone Girl also? Like he starred and directed or something like that?
No, he starred and directed The Town. I don't think.
The Town.
And Argo. I don't think he directed Gone Girl.
Oh, okay.
Could be wrong on that, but
maybe like he helped produce it or something. I don't remember. I thought he had a hand in something else. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I feel like it's definitely not just you two. Like, I feel like that's a very common. I don't like him, and I'm just like, oh, why? Like he had a downtime in his career for sure, but I don't know. I also fully recognize that I have a huge love for him because of his attachment to Kevin Smith and being
the Kevin Smith.
I completely get that.
No, that's all good. David Fincher did Gone Girl.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
As the director, and he just started.
So I believe that The Accountant 2 is streaming on Amazon Prime. Is that it?
I believe that is accurate.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's included in an Amazon Prime membership. You get that for free, so that's probably where I will be watching it. I'm gonna try and watch it closer to Thursday. One, because I want to put it off as long as possible, and two, so I don't forget it. Because Dan, like you, I thought this movie had some very forgettable parts. Most of the parts that I remembered are the parts that angered me. You know, and that's not what I want to walk away from in a film. You know, unless it's like Whiplash, where J.K. Simmons, not Rawlings. I always want to say Rawlings for some reason. Angers me throughout that entire film, and I remember every minute of it and love it. Absolutely love it. So.
Yeah, it's a love to hate.
Yeah, I was excited when Simmons had that. He had the insurance commercial, and the insurance company was supporting the movie Red at the same time that he was also in. And in the commercial, the people are like watching the movie Red, and they're like, "Wait a minute, is that our?" And then Simmons walks, and he's like, "You two get to work." It's kind of funny how they crossed over the movie and the commercial because the same actor. It was cool.
For sure. All right, so next week we're going to be back with The Accountant 2, and then I believe we're doing, I think we discussed doing The Conjuring, the first movie in The Conjuring, then we'll have our headliner episode or our
okay.
episode.
You guys fell in the Conjuring. I wasn't there when you guys decided the Conjuring, so that's news to me, and I think that's a good place to go.
Well, there's a new Conjuring in theaters, I think now actually.
Yep.
Window a little bit, but hopefully by the time we get to there, it'll be on a streaming
It's like
service or
The Conjuring, the end or something. It's supposed to be the final in the franchise, which never really means.
any of them.
There's like 6 or something, isn't there?
I think there's only 4.
Oh,
So The Conjuring has a universe with like the Nun and Annabelle, but I think there's only 4 actual Conjuring movies.
Okay.
That might be why I was thinking.
I have not seen The Nun or Annabelle. Isn't there like the Amityville house or something that's in the same universe too or something? Is it
I
Amityville?
don't know about that one. That's possible. Right now, so I was looking at it in Walmart. They've got like the Conjuring Universe DVD set for like $20, and I'm like, I know I watched them once, but if I have to rent like 3 of these, that pretty much covers the cost right there. So
Yeah.
might be worth it. And then I haven't talked to my wife about it actually in a little hot minute, but hopefully we can do Hocus Pocus right around Christmas.
Halloween.
Halloween, right around Halloween. And that'll kind of be our September and October. And then we can move into something new in November. But that's kind of what we're looking at doing for the next little bit here on our rating. Are you going live at all in the next couple of days, Brian?
What's tomorrow? Friday? I don't think I'm going live tomorrow, but I'm gonna be going live Sunday around 2:00. I'm still keeping that same time slot, but I'm not doing Sunderfolk anymore. I'm just kind of playing some different games. Right now, I think I'm playing High on Life, which is that spin-off or cross collaboration, or I don't know. It's related to Rick and Morty's. It's got a lot of Rick and Morty humor in it, and I'm loving that game. So I'm gonna try and play through that real quick because the sequel is coming out next year. So I want to have that done. And then I'll try and stream again on Monday, I think. So otherwise, I don't plan on streaming tomorrow at all because I just want to take a day off for myself. And I'm not even doing that. I got to work half the day.
Fair enough. What about you, Will? You going to go live on Friday nights?
Yeah, it's Friends Friday. I'm kind of wanting to jump back into Peak. I've been having fun in that game. It's just like something about that game is just so inviting to me.
Oh shit! If you guys are gonna be playing Peak, I might have to jump into it.
Oh, come on over. The more the merrier in that game for me. Even though everybody I play with just hates teamwork, I still have fun with it.
Oh, see, I like teamwork as well.
About.
Oh, dude, Dan, you're not the only one now. Like last time I played, Faust was with me, and somebody who had never played Val. They jumped in. They were like, "Hey, this game looks fun. Would you guys play with me?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So they jumped in too. So I was like guiding them up this mountain for the first time through, and then at the end, Faust straight up ate me. we were like making good progress, and I was like kind of leading us up this mountain, and Faust just came up behind me and just crunched me, man. It was just like, what the hell? And then immediately everybody died. They just like couldn't get anywhere. It was just hilarious. But it was just like, man, the teamwork in this game is so hit and miss, but it's super fun.
So Hotep had me install the mod for 20 or more people, and I also got
in that.
So I got another mod for it also. I don't remember what it was, but the problem is that we can't get the audio to work. Anybody who installs the 20 or more people loses the ability to speak in game, and you have to have a Discord
the host,
channel.
Right?
Yeah, the host always loses.
Host. That's what we had a problem with too.
Yeah, and I lost the ability to host with any kind of sound also, so we would have to open up a Discord channel for that one person to be able to talk to the group, which takes away from the effect of it.
Out a bit.
Yeah, and it sucks. So if I'm not playing 20 or more people, then I definitely want to just play the vanilla game. but I would like to put a whole bunch of people in there. Did you ever find out when you bring in more people, does it add more resources to accommodate, or does it just add more people?
I mean, we got to the third mountain, and I felt like there was enough resources to keep us.
How many people did you have?
We only had 6, I think.
Oh, okay. That's just 2 more over the top, and it's not too bad.
So I don't think it was a high enough increase in player base to really notice a major difference. Because we're also playing on the easiest game mode still, so I think they give you ample utility. But anyway, we'll find out. Maybe if we could get like a big game going, that would be sick.
You know what we could do is, if we still have the audio issues with the host could jump into a Discord channel with everybody else. Everybody mutes everything but the host.
Just the host.
So the host has God voice, and everybody else would work, because the host can still hear everybody else in game. They just can't speak. And so the host would just have God voice, and that would be it. That wouldn't be too bad.
Would it really be the worst thing in the world if just everybody was in Discord and we could actually hear each other?
It's
It does
okay.
actually ruin it.
It's just not as fun. Like hearing somebody be like, "No, I'm not gonna make." Like,
yeah, when they fall off the cliff.
The actual falling and like the sound and not being able to hear people like across the way and to find where they are and stuff. It's pretty fun. So it does take a little bit away. It's not. That's what we did. We just all discarded it. But it is a nice little nugget of enjoyment with that.
You know what's strange? That game does not run on small PCs. Like, my kids can't play it on their PCs. My youngest son has a 1-year-old laptop, but it's not a gaming laptop, no graphics driver at all, and I can't get Peak to run on his laptop.
It's a pretty impressive game.
Yeah,
like, it's so simple in its like presentation, but like all the little things that are a part of it, like every day the mountains are different, right? And so like it's a new experience every day to climb and try to get up these mountains. And then like just getting the different like achievements and you know, getting them on your sash to show them off and different items. Like the way they set it up really draws people in again and again, and just the teamwork elements is really interesting.
By the way, Dorky Dad said that he would be willing to play with us. He likes playing Peak, and he's always looking for people. So next time we get in, we should shoot him a message, because there's some MSFers over there in that corner of the woods that might want to come back. And
it's just a fun game, and like I'm guessing if we got anywhere near 20 players, it would just be a shit show.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be great. There would be a lot of people going into cannibalism, because they would be then starving and having to eat other people, and it would turn into us versus them. Like, whoever's got the food is going to be out in the front trying not to get eaten by the cannibals falling behind.
Who do you trust?
Right?
Does everybody need to have the 20-player expansion pack, or just the host?
No, just the host.
Just the host.
That is nice, yeah. That is a nice element for that mod. And then, the other thing I was thinking about was like, if we do get like 10, 12 players, to just like group off into twos and like have races up the mountain. And stuff. That would be super fun too, and just be like,
you could, and you can color code your character at the airport, so you could make everybody a red team, blue team, green team, stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's just different.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Different ways you can like make the game your own. It's like pretty intriguing to me. So I just think like, and them allowing all these different mods and stuff, I think is really fun. Yeah. I don't know.
Cool.
So anyway, that's it's on my mind, so I'll probably play that tomorrow for a bit anyway.
Nice.
Well, if I'm not playing it with you, I'll be watching it for sure.
I appreciate that.
Sounds good. Yeah, I have tomorrow off, so I'm going to be spending a good chunk of tomorrow and Saturday playing Silk Song. I'm looking forward to this one drastically. I was debating if I was going to play it after our rating.
Tonight?
But at this point, it's 11 o'clock, and I'm like,
what time are you going to be playing Silk Song? Because I want to watch that.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody leaves my house at 8, so probably like 8:02.
Okay.
You'll be
Until,
booted, just
like,
ready to hit the
4
live button. Yeah.
Yeah, just get the fuck out. I need to do this, guys. Goodbye. I love you all. Goodbye.
Nice.
Probably like good chunk of the day, and then my regular stream on Saturday will probably be Silk Song as well. I don't know what's going on Friday night, but if I have the time, I could be in for some Peak for sure.
I'm up. late and stupid hours. So yeah, if you're around, just check in, and we're
And
always
then what is
happy to have
today's-
people.
Today is the 4th, so 1 month from today, I'm just going to start advertising it now. Is going to be my 3rd annual anniversary. We're going to be doing a charity event for I was going to say autism, for Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
So
fuck
if you
autism.
It's just
Sorry, Dan, I forgot. What are you doing it for? Sorry.
Alzheimer's.
Wow. Two horrible jokes back to back here.
These guys will not be part of that stream. I would love to have you guys and more on that stream. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of different stuff, including I want to have like a wheel of games that'll just like spin randomly, and whatever it lands on, that's what we're going to play. Some
That's
multiplayer, mostly single player, but there's a lot of really silly games that I'm looking forward to doing, and we can even discuss that behind the scenes. That Guilty as Soccer game that somebody mentioned in the headliners chat looks hilarious. Peak is always a good time. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's going to be starting on October 3rd, Hillary, and going into October 4th. So it'll be starting the Friday night, probably going into the Saturday.
How many hours long is the stream supposed to be?
24 hours.
It's another 24. Oh my God, you guys are so crazy when you do this. I've never done a 24-hour stream.
Honestly, I had such
I
a
don't
blast last
recommend it.
time.
Yeah.
Such a blast last time. I actually do heavily recommend it. Not to mention, we raised $3,500 for charity last year. Which
Nice.
was kind of
Good
incredible.
job.
I am hoping, so I'm doing it over Twitch as opposed to I did it at a different website, and it gives you like a 2-week window. So I'm gonna do like a week before and a week after, and I'm hoping to raise even more money this year. So I just need to figure out some incentive stuff to get people to hopefully show up. I don't know if I got Ceci in my corner this year, which was a huge part of last year's donations. So
I mean,
we'll
if
see
you're
what
doing
happens,
something,
but-
if you're doing something crazy, stupid, he usually likes to stop by.
Well, we'll see what we got. I got a couple
Yeah.
ideas, but I need to hammer them down and actually get them on a poster and start really advertising it. But I'm
I always
forward to that. It should be a good time.
put one really especially vicious thing at the far end of my milestones just in case one of those people comes by. I don't expect to
Yeah.
make it to that milestone, but there's something there. If they want to go for blood, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will put his hand in a mousetrap, and then Brian,
Oh,
you
yeah,
had
yeah,
that as like
Yeah.
a possibility on your stream, and I'm just like,
Oh,
like,
you did the
pussy.
mousetrap,
Like,
Will? I know you
wanna
did the
do that. If I
electrocution
break a
stuff.
finger on live air or something. I don't know.
Dude.
That's a hard pass.
Ren, I've got the exact same trap you have, man.
I think everybody has those traps. They're
Yeah, I
one of the
know.
most common.
Yeah, I really
it
didn't
was-
want to make
it was fun.
$1,000 mark on my fundraiser stream the other day. I was like, I don't want to do this.
It didn't feel good, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is.
I'm
what
just
it is.
nervous about like breaking something on air and be like, oh, I still got 16
That's what
hours
she
to
said.
go.
Yeah, just don't do the rat trap. Don't do the rat trap.
do a rat trap.
Yeah,
Don't
that'll
do a
draw
rat trap.
blood or break bone. You don't want to do that. But mouse trap probably ain't gonna draw blood.
Yeah, as long as you
Alright.
you want to do a meaty part. Just choose a meaty part.
Yeah, don't do your pinky on the cuticle. That's not gonna go well.
Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It'll
I'm
smart.
just probably do
It'll
other
smart.
things. I'll just do other things.
Yeah, probably.
Do other things.
Yeah. If I do a fundraiser next month, because I think I might do a fundraiser for myself each month to shore up the financial situation. And, if I do it next month, I'm considering trying to get that airsoft gun and letting my kids shoot me with an airsoft.
That's a pretty good
I also
idea.
got bamboozled. I've never tried Bean Boozled. I've never tried that one. I heard that was pretty good. But I had fun at the last fundraiser. That was pretty
good
good.
stream.
I feel guilty raising money for myself, but I don't feel as guilty because I don't raise that much money. You know.
Sure.
All my charity fundraisers have done really well, and I raised a lot of money for people. But when I go for myself, it's just a short little, hey, give me some cash, I'm gonna get out of here.
I will agree with you, Dan. The 24-hour stream, doing it is like a lot of fun. It is exhausting, and
Oh, for sure.
it knocks me out for like a day.
I took the
That-
week off afterwards.
Yeah, that's why I don't recommend it. But like in the moment, when you're getting the support, like if I did a charity stream and I got like nothing, I'd be like, this is the worst fucking thing. Because we have such an amazing community, it does make for a pretty good stream.
Honestly, I mean, okay, raising money for charity, you want to raise as much money as possible. And because most of my things are tied to doing something, then as long as we're raising money, I'm doing silly stuff, and that kind of makes it more interesting. But realistically, if I did a 24-hour stream and it was just me hanging out with my chat and my chat was active and around, that'd be a win. Like, that would still just be a really fun time. It'd be disappointing to be like, we didn't really raise anything, but
Yeah.
it would still be a lot of fun.
But if you didn't really do anything either, like,
not because I'm like, oh man, I'm really bored, I want to get out of here.
yeah.
Sorry, what's that part?
I was gonna say, if you didn't really like do anything, like for my charity stream, I shaved off an eyebrow, I waxed my chest, and I ate that 9 million Scoville chocolate, which really screwed me up. I was a mess for a month after that charity stream, but I felt good because I raised money. Had I done all those things and not made any money, like Will said, I would have felt terrible. Had I done way more watered down mediocre stuff, like, hey, I'm gonna do karaoke songs every time we get a $20 donation, right? Nobody donates to hear me sing. Oh well, not a big deal. Still would hate trying and failing. Everybody hates to fail.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah,
But theoretically, you're not, shaving an eyebrow in hopes that people give you money. You're shaving it
because people give you money. Yes, yeah. So
you're only doing that if you're succeeding.
yeah, that's true.
Shaving an eyebrow, I looked it up. Like, doesn't it take like 3 months to grow back?
No, it was like a week. It was pretty close. What I did was, after 1 week, I shaved the other one a little shorter so that they matched up. They were light, but they matched up and it didn't look as weird. So, and then like when I went, I told my boss
Play the system, Run.
at the hardware store, I told my boss and I was like, hey, by the way, next week I might come in with like a Band-Aid over my eye. And I'm just gonna tell people that like I got hurt or something.
Yeah.
Really, I'm gonna be shaving off an eyebrow. And they just laughed. They were like, this is gonna be hilarious. And I put this big old Band-Aid over my eyebrow so it just looked like I had like some sort of injury or something right there. And then my coworkers were like, no, we're getting out the Sharpie. And they drew an eyebrow on the Band-Aid. Which made it so much worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's so much worse. Yeah.
I'm just nervous. Like, if I shave my eyebrows, I'll have like no hair from like here up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's
pretty
just that's a
funny.
whole lot of real estate to have.
Hey, for the right amount of money, I think you should just go completely bald from the neckline all the way up and just see what that looks like.
So I grew my beard out last year, and I was like, oh, like $20 a strip or something like that. And like one person bought right here and nothing else. I think they were just like, that looks fun, done. I was like, okay, so I just had like the biggest mutton chops the entire stream. I'm just like, this is weird, but okay. I guess it's better to have that cut off than just like only that.
Yeah, you looked funny, and then after the face paint and the Kingpin costume and everything, that was a fun stream.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping we can do something like that again this year. But anyways, that's, I guess Hillary was right. It's actually October 3rd that it starts, and then it'll go into October 4th, which is the birthday.
Oh,
And then-
fair. Friday
Actually-
to Saturday.
How much is the Brazilian wax?
I don't know if I can do that live on air.
You can't. Nope.
You'll just have to take my word for it, Dadpool.
You just need a really
No.
secure sock.
No, you just have everything that's against terms of service off screen. So you're like this. You're like, okay, honey, go ahead. And then we just see your face. Or not. Never mind. No, never mind.
No, yeah, it's the front. But what you could do is use some green tape and chroma key it out.
Just use like a 2-foot strip of tape. Just make it look.
Use less than you need to make
Just make it look like a third leg.
Just really Samson it up over there.
Samson. Did you guys see the trailer for Bone Temple?
I did see the trailer. Some guy did a trailer reaction. I think his name was. I can't quite.
Nothing catchy.
I
Apparently.
don't remember. I don't remember the guy who did it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I wasn't actually trying to self-promote.
Actually, I know you did the trailer reaction, Dan. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. again, another good-looking trailer. So we'll see.
Yeah. It didn't give a ton of anything away, but I liked all the imagery that I saw.
Yeah, it was similar to the first one, right? Like they didn't give a ton away, but it drew you in, which is a good trailer. It's a good trailer. Knowing what happened in the first one, I guess you get a little bit more out of it, but yeah, I'm hopeful.
Agreed. I'm a little nervous that it's releasing in January. That's kind of where movies go to die. So there's that. But other than that, I'm curious for it. I'll be checking it out for sure.
Hey, completely different genre here. Did you guys watch the latest episode of Alien Earth?
I have only seen the first episode.
Oh.
I've only seen the first 2 or 3.
Okay, the latest episode is a little bit
The latest is really good.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit controversial in how they pull it off and the way they film a lot of the sequences. There's a lot of alien sequences in it with the xenomorph, and they showcase it, I would say, in the same way they always did, but we get brighter lighting and lots more wide angle shots, so you see more of it. And a lot of people were kind of upset with that. I don't know, I was kind of curious to see what you guys thought of this latest episode. So, go binge watch 6 episodes, Dan, and let me know.
How many are out now?
I don't know.
I think it's 5. I think it's 5.
I think this is the 5th one, yeah. I thought it was a great episode.
I enjoyed the first episode, and I do want to watch more, but it didn't like, oh my God, I have to watch the next one. It was like, that was good.
Yeah.
And I honestly, this sounds so awful, especially for somebody like a movie podcast, but like I just don't have the time for a lot of TV shows and movies these days. Like I just am not making it a priority unless it's an episode of our rating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched The Accountant in 15-minute increments.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like
I could
doing
never watch a
streaming,
movie
editing,
like that.
I couldn't either, which drive me insane. Even if my wife was like, we could start a movie today and watch it tomorrow, I'm like, no.
I have
Like,
issue with that too.
I want to sit and watch a movie from beginning to end, if at all possible. If something happens midway, so be it. But I would never purposely I'm going to watch an hour of this 3-hour movie, and then I'll watch another hour tomorrow. And
Well, you know what?
it happens sometimes, but
Because of my extraneous age, I remember when they would show movies on TV and there would be commercial breaks. And so as I watch a film and I'm going like, okay, I only have 15, 20 minutes to do this, I'll watch for about 10, 15 minutes or however long I have. And then I'll wait for that natural break point where a commercial would be inputted by TBS or wherever you're watching it, on regular TV. And that's where I stop it. And it just kind of feels like a very extensive commercial break, usually about 24 hours. So
Right. Yeah, I'm going to hold out until the end of the series before I say too much about what I think of Alien Earth.
yeah.
Well, I was talking to Brian about doing like a series recap when it's done. We could do that, not as an R rating episode, maybe like just a
Just as something.
one. Yeah,
Sure.
I will attempt to get. Do we know how many episodes there are? They're going to be.
Honestly, the way this 5th episode ended, it felt like a mid-season break episode. It ended hard. And you're like, whoa. And I'm like, are they going to come back in like 3 or 4 months or something? Like, it seemed like a big stop.
Looks like there's going to be 8.
8 total? Oh, okay.
8 episode season. Yeah.
And this is 5? Okay, so I can get
so
caught up. I got time.
3 more weeks.
I was going to say, it's like, oh, there's 6 episodes. You got till like Tuesday. I'm like, fuck. But we'll see. Okay. With that, it is 11 o'clock. Thank you, Brian, for sticking around later than you normally do. That's greatly appreciated. It was nice to have time to talk to you. And this has been a really fun episode with some deeper context than we normally get into, or deeper conversations than we normally get into.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked I got to stay a little later. My kids don't have school tomorrow, so I don't have to be to bed early to get up early. So
Fridays off.
Yeah.
Nice.
What a weird world.
Yep. Don't know what to say to that one. All right, thanks, gents. I've had a great time. I hope you guys have had a fun time. I will be doing my best to get an episode out for Monday as per normal, but honestly, this weekend might just evaporate into Silk Song, and we'll just see what happens. So
we'll never see Dan again.
Yeah,
we'll see him live for the rest of his life.
It is not a live service game. It will end eventually. It just might be a week or 2 or 5, so we'll see.
Yeah.
If you're watching on my stream, I will be raiding into Venora, who just put on a cute little hat, and that's where I'm going to be heading. So I won't raid into Dan, just so Dan can raid into somebody else. But thank you guys for having me on.
She's partner pushing. She's trying to get partner, and she's definitely deserving.
Absolutely.
Even if she does play Marvel Strike Force.
So, bye to all the people watching on my stream, and bye to you guys. I'm going to jump out of here. Thanks for a wonderful evening. Great discussion. I like the totally different tone tonight, and I'm here for it, so it's good. Talk to you guys later.
Ryan.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. I'm also going to raid into Venora because why not? We like her.